to find out why recycled pallets are the most cost-effective way to move and store your product. Learn about our recycling program as well at thepalletrecycler.ca.
Your fantasy football league sucks. Why? Oh, we've got 7 painfully accurate reasons. And don't worry, we've got fixes too. Visit fantasytoilet.com for all the tools and hilarious awards to make your fantasy league suck less.
This month in Sports History Moment is brought to you by Discount Diesel Parts.
January 3rd, 1920, Babe Ruth is out in Boston. Red Sox owner Harry Frazee needed cash to continue producing his Broadway plays. So he sold Babe Ruth to the New York Yankees in exchange for $125,000 in cash and a $300,000 loan. Boston, which had won 5 World Series before the deal, would go 0 for 80 before winning again. Many fans referred to it as the curse of the Bambino.
Hi, folks. This is Big Al from Discount Diesel Parts. With over 70 years experience, Interstate McBee is a leader in the heavy-duty diesel engine parts industry. And as an authorized dealer for over 20 years, we've been serving customers with those high-quality parts. Gasket kits, water and oil pumps, turbos, fuel injectors, heads, in-frame kits, and at a great price, too. Reach us at discountdiesel.ca and know that Discount Diesel's got the parts to get it done.
Sports 1440, Stingray radio station. CHJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Have your sports curiosity cured.
Defensive back to get a beat on what he's doing. Ronald looking at him again. It's impressive though. Hit as he throws back open. Smith and Jigba. Touchdown, Seattle.
A veteran of the sports reporting game for over 25 years.
2nd and 4. Taking off his May. Drake May to the end zone for the New England touchdown.
Breaking down Edmonton's favorite teams.
Chikrin with a steal. And now the guy Karius. He's got a man with him. He tried to swing it across to Chikrin. Bouchard was tripped. Edmonton 6, Washington 5.
This is Sports 1440 and the Kevin Karius Show.
All right, here we go for Sol 591, Monday, January the 26th. Game day for the Oilers as they're going duck hunting tonight with Anaheim, red hot Anaheim in town. Hey, good morning. Welcome to the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440 on your AM radio dial on your morning drive into work. So glad you could spend some time with us here on a Monday morning where temperatures in the City of Champions as the week progresses are going to get warmer and warmer, looking really good. You can also watch us on YouTube at Sports 1440 AM. You can drop us a like and a subscription. We're also on X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch. Plus, the streaming service are jammed with iHeartRadio, TuneIn app, sports1440.ca. And if you miss any part of any show, it turns into one of the many, many podcasts that are out there. Just search it on Apple, Spotify, Google, even Amazon. Be sure to subscribe. It's free. Select the auto download. You'll never miss a second of the show. Yeah, hearty good morning to you. So glad you're with us here to kick off the week, which is going to be busy because it's Oilers tonight. They got a couple of days off, and then San Jose is here on Thursday, Minnesota Wild on Saturday as this home stand continues. Oilers coming off just a crazy, crazy exciting game on Saturday night where Evan Bouchard had his best defensive game as a pro, for sure. 3 goals, 3 assists, 6 points, 6-5 overtime victory. Oilers over the Washington Capitals. And again, the red hot Anaheim Ducks arrive into town after a win last night in Calgary, 4-3 over the Flames in overtime. Beckett Seneca had 3 goals, including the game winner in overtime. The Ducks have won 7 straight. Tons to talk about with the Oilers and, of course, the NFL with the AFC and the NFC championship games yesterday, and that's why we welcome in our Monday and Friday co-host, Eddie Steele, former Grey Cup champion from 2015, all-decade team with the Edmonton Eskimos. Good morning, Eddie.
KK, top of the morning.
Big
Happy
weekend
Monday.
for you?
It was a good
Well,
weekend.
you're
Yeah,
big
big
time.
at a conference I got to speak at on Saturday, so that was
Where was
nice.
that?
At a church. So
Okay.
this was a men's conference. It was called
Yeah.
Men of Honor.
Oh.
So it was really nice. Got to kind of
So
share my
Right in
story.
the congregation?
Yeah. It was there's a good 70, 80
Yeah.
fellas who took part in the
And
conference.
your hands probably sore from signing autographs after?
You know what? No autograph signing. I didn't, but I got to meet a lot of good people. So it was a really good time,
Mhm.
really good conference.
Yeah.
A lot of good football on the weekend. The
It was-
Oilers, lots going on.
Lots going on. Yeah, the Oilers game on Saturday night was, well, I mean, to get first to tie it up late and then, to see the 3-on-3 and, I mean, Bouchard with 3 goals, 3 assists.
Big game.
It was not long ago where, and I know people are going to be texting and saying you're out of your mind, but it wasn't long ago where the Norris Trophy was, Cale Makar, please come up to accept the Norris Trophy.
It's your award.
Yeah, and you know how it works for the voting in defensemen. The more points you get, the more votes you get. And right now, Evan Bouchard is 1 point back of Cale Makar for scoring leaders amongst defensemen. And Zach Werenski's right in there too. So, but I mean, Evan Bouchard, there's no reason to think that Evan Bouchard could be the highest scoring defenseman this year.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you?
He's on pace. He could do
it's
it.
a decent bet.
It's right there.
Yeah.
1 point back of the leader.
There you go. So, I mean, when you think about the defensemen that are, Makar is going to be one of the 3 finalists for the Norris Trophy. Werenski's going to be one of the 3 finalists. And then, well, who's there's also, Quinn Hughes is going to be in the conversation too.
When they're deciding on this vote, do you have any idea? Is it mostly just the offensive points that they look at for the D-man, or do they take into account
You
the
should take into
defensive
everything.
metrics?
You're supposed to take into everything. That's why a lot of people think there should be 2 awards.
Right.
Defensive defenseman like a la Rod Langway, who won many Norris trophies. I shouldn't say many, a few, but he was really good defensively and chipped in offensively. But
Now it's kind of more of
well,
an
what happens is the
award.
voters get romanticized, and maybe sometimes maybe a bit of a false sense of what a complete defenseman is. Oh, look at that. Well, Cale Makar, 56 points. Well, Cale Makar makes as many mistakes as Evan Bouchard does. Because when you got the puck on your stick at half the game, it's
It's going to happen.
So-
Right. Just the law of average. Don't know if Cale makes a lot of mistakes.
Sure.
I'd beg to argue that the types of mistakes maybe
Fair.
are a little
Fair.
different, but yeah.
Okay, you know what I'm
And
talking about.
Evan is coming, man.
Yeah.
Evan is coming. Despite this offensive game, it's safe to say his
Mhm.
overall game has improved throughout the season, man.
Yes, yeah. There's no question about that. There's no question about that. There are still times where you go, hey, what are you doing? But you can't argue with 55 points right now.
No, and we're not seeing those performances like what was it against the
He had
Rangers?
Rangers, you had the 2 really
Yeah,
costly
yeah.
giveaways.
We're not seeing that.
He's had some other ones, but as the season's progressed, again, he's cleaned up a lot of that stuff. So for sure. Let's start. You want to talk a little football here for a few minutes here? We'll
big
just kind of do the top part of the cake here, the icing and whatever else, and we'll get to the inside
Meat and potatoes.
later in the show. But for the Denver-New England game, 10-7, New England wins it. So I was listening to the Donkeys on the way in here. And one guy, I don't know who the guy is, but he wasn't a player. It wasn't LeVar. It wasn't
Brady.
It wasn't Brady. And this guy was just saying, oh, they can't have games in weather like this and blah, blah, blah. And both LeVar and Brady were like, no, this is football, man.
Yeah,
So I love it when there's adversity and stuff like that.
absolutely.
You got to figure out a way to get through it.
Absolutely.
So I'm sure you're in that same boat too.
Yeah, man, that's
Yeah.
football. You play it rain or shine,
Mhm.
barring the lightning. But I think that it was a really good, entertaining game, and you could see the battle that each team had to do, especially offensively.
Yeah.
It was a battle to move that ball. The game was won or lost, though, when Sean Payton didn't kick the 3 to go up 10-0.
Right.
That's my opinion.
It's early
You have
enough,
a
too.
backup first quarter, I believe. You have a backup quarterback in. Help your team, Kevin. We talk about it all year. Take
Just weird.
the points.
And you should know, like this isn't a guy that is just, his first rodeo here. Like, you got to know that.
Exactly. Man. Take the points.
Yeah.
10-0. Your defense is playing lights out.
Yeah.
Take the points. These coaches, man, they're too smart for their own good. It makes no sense. 10 years ago, that would have been a no-brainer. Take the points.
So, again, when you look at an analytics, and maybe they didn't know the severity of the weather coming, which is whatever, you should know. You should have guys that are.
Well, even that. I knew there was going to be snow in the second half. I heard that from a broadcast.
But you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So don't overthink it. So do you think Sean Payton today is going, I cost my team?
I saw in an article, he even mentioned it, alluded to the fact that was the turning point and probably overthought that process.
It just doesn't make sense.
With one of the league's best defenses, New England wasn't doing squat at that point offensively. Your defense had them hemmed up. Take the 10.
Well, it's such a momentum, right? So now you go, okay, you get stopped on 4th and 1 or whatever it was. So instead of now you're giving them the ball and 3 less points.
3 less points. And what was the final score?
10-7.
10-7.
There you go. In the other game, Seattle and the Rams, 31-27. Both quarterbacks, I don't think both quarterbacks could play any better.
No, lights out football.
I mean, for both guys. They dissected the defenses when they had to move the ball, at times ran the ball for a couple guys that can't run the ball.
Yeah.
But Matthew Stafford, even to get that
got that
4th
first
and 1.
Yeah.
But, Darnold, everyone knows about the pedigree of Matt Stafford. Sam Darnold still doesn't get the credit that he deserves.
He doesn't, but boy, he is looking good.
Ever.
And throughout the whole playoffs, and everybody said he had a really strong regular season, and coming into the playoffs or that big game against San Fran to secure the number 1 seed in the NFC, will Sam Darnold show up to be who we thought he is? And so far, I think he has outgrown that old Sam Darnold, and he is now a mature quarterback who can get the job done. Yeah. Look at the way he has produced all season. Sure, he hasn't thrown for 300 game in, game out, but he has had a strong statistical season. He's had a strong mental season, and he hasn't had that lapse that everybody is expecting from him.
Text 833-401-1440. BC Oilers says, yeah, another weekend of coaches not taking points. Poor King of Fort Nasty says, I had to burn both my Stidham and Lutz jerseys yesterday.
To go up 10-0 that would have been game changing in that football game, KK.
No kidding. Hey, let's welcome in the Duke of Delburne on a Monday morning. Another tough weekend for the Duke. It was his birthday on Saturday, Eddie.
Oh, happy belated, old man.
Yeah.
You're in the 30s, huh?
Oh, yeah. Officially in my early 30s now, actually. Yeah.
It's a rough weekend.
It's been it was a long week, period. The back and forth from Delburne to Curl, Critters game. Did it again Friday night to go home and curl, and then came back to do the Triple S Saturday morning. And then back again to Delburne for, banquet, senior game Saturday night.
It's a lot.
It was a long week, and yesterday I would have loved nothing more than to essentially just sleep from the time I got home at around 12:30 right through till this morning. But football to watch. Had a Tropics game last night. Had to watch the Oilers game because I was doing the senior game Saturday night when the Oilers game was on.
Dude,
it was
You can't keep up this pace.
And tonight I'm going to the game tonight.
Oh yeah.
Ducks. Yeah,
but I'm thinking it'll be pretty purely spectator, not much fanfare.
I will bet, Duke, that who are you going with?
Chucky Slick.
Big Slick.
No Sobolski or Sobolia?
No, I think the big Sobolia and I will save the Ducks when they're back in town is a Saturday night later this season in March. That sounds like the night to maybe tie one off.
I'll guarantee you think you're going to get to this game and Chucky Slick's not going to. Hey, Duke, how about a nice cold beer? And it's
we'll have one or
16
two.
Ounces.
Yeah, I bet
we'll have one or two.
I'll say you have between four and 6.
Yeah,
no chance. There's no chance I will be doing that.
Birthday night, how many? Try and count. Over under 15.
Probably pretty close.
Yeah, good.
Yeah,
good.
Well, good stuff. Oil Kings won yesterday 5-1 over the Saskatoon Blades at Rogers Place. Lower bowl was full. It was
Pull to see who.
Well, no. It was the Oil Rumble, and I was just humbled and glad to be a part of it. So they Love Pro Wrestling brought in the ring. You were there last year, and I was the manager for the Varos twins up against Rich King and Dean Richter, and their idiot manager, Thaddeus Archer III, who brought those Listerine breath mint things, because I told him about his bad breath on Friday. But he brought some of those, which I was quite happy about. Anyway, absolutely crushed them.
Tell us about it.
Well, I mean, they had, again, I don't know what that 6'7" thing is, whatever it is.
Kids.
Anyway, the Varos twins, they want to get this thing going. So anyway, I pounded Thaddeus with 5 hard shots after I jerseyed him. And then at that point, the Varos twins had King and Richter in the corners, and they were giving it to them guys. Then we stopped, and then we looked to the crowd and did the 6'7".
Yeah.
And the kids laughed at that, I guess. I don't know. I didn't understand it, but whatever. And then and then finished up with 8, 9, and 10. And then those guys did a leg whip, and it almost knocked me out of the ring. And then at the end, I came back, and we were running out a little bit of time, but anyway, pounded Archer again into submission, broke his glasses, cut his lip, and then pinned him.
Pinned him with the 1, 2.
Yeah, pinned him, and then we just went on our
What'd you wear?
I wore.
Oh, it took the words right out of my mouth, Eddie. That's what my question was going to be.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I wore.
Tarps off?
What's that?
Tarps off?
No, because Archer's like his suit is like he wears the same terrible suits, so he had the kind of like Don Cherry. So I wanted to kind of go the hockey theme, so I wore my full length Reg Dunlop / Tim Dr. Hook McCracken leather jacket.
Familiar.
Yeah. So I wore that.
You have gloves on?
No. But if I had known how much I was going to be involved, I would have probably had like a shirt on underneath, and then probably taken the jacket off.
Yeah.
But I wasn't sure about the details of the match.
You're wearing that leather, man, and you're out there getting physical.
Oh,
It'd be tight on the shoulders.
No, well, I was thinking of taking it off and like beating him with it.
Oh yeah, you
just
should have choked him.
Yeah, something like
wrap the sleeves around his neck.
Oh, but yeah, no, he was in rough shape at the end of it.
Yeah,
broken glasses.
Yeah, of course, blood.
He was a mess.
Yeah, that's 2 years in a row. Thad.
Well, he said he didn't lose last year.
I gave him a clothesline from hell.
Oh boy,
put him down.
Coming up on the big program, Alan Mitchell will be our usual Monday morning leadoff man. You hear him daily from 12 to 2 on The Lowdown with Low Tide. Mark Spector in his usual 8 o'clock time slot from Rogers Sportsnet. David Amber, our good buddy, Super Dave from Hockey Night in Canada, will check in at 9:20. We will dissect the AFC and NFC divisional championship games with Luke Easterling from Athlon Sports in the 10 o'clock hour. Also, Zach Kavanaugh from the Sporting Tribune covers the Ducks. And again, 7 wins in a row after the Beckett-Seneca hat trick. Ducks beat Calgary last night 4-3 in overtime. And then when you look at the standings in the Pacific Division, well, this is a game tonight where the winner of this contest is going to be in second place and could be, well, actually tied for first if the Oilers, because the Vegas Golden Knights got pounded last night in Ottawa 7-1.
This guy is grinning back here.
Oh, I know. Duke.
He's loving it.
Isn't he?
He's a happy little boy with his Ducks.
There is no, if the over-under on Duke having 2 beer tonight, come on.
Yeah. I'll take the over.
Take the over all day long. Well, I'll be calling Chucky Slick.
Yeah, and checking in.
Chucky, you just get that wallet out there, big guy.
Just figure out where he's sitting and
what
just.
kind of car did he have again when we golfed, Duke?
Oh,
yeah, that's what he pulled up.
Chucky's got the
Chucky
cash.
rolls in.
Well, but here's the thing. So he's taking me to the game. It would be my responsibility then to cover the beverages, right? And here's the thing: like he has to drive all the way back out East Assured Park after the game. I'm gonna have to make my way back home and come to work tomorrow morning. I think 2 beers is just fine.
Okay,
you lie like a rug.
When we come back, we'll get to your text too as well. Jay and Steve and the King with another one. Pillmat's checked in as well, among others. We'll get to those at 833-401-1440. When we come back, Alan Mitchell will check in as our Monday morning leadoff man on the Kevin Carey Show with Eddie Steele, Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick, and Mac the Intern on Sports 1440 AM radio. We are streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
60 years ago, we started selling trucks as Western GMC Buick. Today, we are Wolf GMC Buick. We're still located on the corner of 184th Street and Stony Plain Road with the same ownership for over 2 decades. Our customers have trusted our family-owned, community-driven business. And for that, we are thankful. If you're looking for a truck or SUV, pop in and one of our seasoned professionals will get you a great deal, hassle-free. Come trust our team at Wolf GMC Buick. Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
I skipped breakfast this morning. Stay out of my way.
Don't threaten me with your bad choices.
No worries. A booster bar from Booster Juice will fix me.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, because they're new. Snack-sized bars packed with seeds, pecans, gluten-free oats, all sorts of good stuff.
That sounds lovely, actually.
2 different flavors to try, too. Coconut pecan booster bars and harvest booster bars. Want to skip breakfast with me?
I take it back. You make good choices.
Booster Juice, Canadian-born, blending since 1999.
This is Andrew Walker, host of the postgame show on Sports 1440. After every hockey game this season, tune in and chime in as we talk about the game. It's all sponsored by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Don't get left in the cold. Visit legacyheating.ca.
Diablo Boots sells only Canadian-made work and biker boots made by Canada West. No American or boots made in China, so no tariffs. All of Diablo's boots have replaceable soles and heels for longer life. Sizes 6 to 14 triple E. Buy quality, buy Canadian. And support Canada West and Diablo, the 2 best names in the boot business. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Buy Canadian. They're terrific.
Heard of Uline? You know, the have-it-all in stock, ready to deliver shipping and industrial supply specialists. The company that does things for you that are unheard of, like keeping 41,000 items in stock in our own warehouses. With customer service reps on the line to get you what you need when you need it 24/7, 365 every time. Maybe you heard it here first. Want to hear more? Visit uline.ca. ULINE, your shipping and industrial supply specialists.
Just in time for the morning skate. This is the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program. 7:21 in Edmonton, and time now for the Puck Report, brought to you by Fountain Tire. At Fountain Tire, we focus on one thing, and it is your vehicle. From tires to wheels to oil changes, vehicle repairs, we have you covered. Visit fountaintire.com to book your appointment today as we welcome in the king, the gun, the fire, Alan Mitchell. You hear him daily from 12 to 2 right here with the lowdown. With Low Tide, Morning Tide, you're with Kevin Karius and Eddie Steele as usual on a Monday morning. So thankful that you could make some time for us on a Monday morning. Appreciate it, big guy.
If you guys knew what kind of like no life I have, I look forward to this call. You know, it's like, oh God, somebody's going to call me. It's great.
But you're not really lying in bed still, are you?
Oh yeah, I've got both dogs on the bed. I got one of the cats on the bed. The other cat's over on the chair. And so, yeah, this is kind of my life, boys.
Okay. So you got to promise me one thing, Ty.
Don't ask what he's wearing.
No. So one of these mornings in the next several months, we have to do a video link from the bed. Like I'm picturing, I don't know who else is going to be there, but I'm thinking like the John Lennon, Yoko Ono, thing. And add a couple dogs in there.
Right. All we are saying is,
give the Oilers a chance.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. Yeah. I mean, I don't know I've got the computer was, that I used, the laptop, it was made in 1920. So, it is so old. Nothing works on it, but maybe I'll upgrade that and we can do that. Sure, why not?
Yeah, it's going to be great. I can't wait for it.
My haircut alone, I haven't got my haircut in a while, and it is like it's like the cats have been sucking on it. It looks terrible today. So
that's solid. Alan Mitchell with us to lead things off on a Monday morning. Man, that was a wild Oilers game on Saturday night with Big Boosh picking up half dozen points. Hey, Tide?
Oh man, it was, he in the previous game, he made a couple of mistakes and people were on him. And you look for maturity, kind of like what happened to Larry Murphy. And then he goes out and he just absolutely obliterated. He hit Ovechkin like hard, and he straddled the blue line. He made a couple of good defensive plays. The winning goal came on a play where he was alert enough to knock that puck down and send it away while getting tripped. Maybe his best game ever, but he is such a force when he is on. And man, he was on, like he just was. And the Oilers, one of the things about that game that I found interesting was when the Oilers would score, Washington would score right away. And then finally Washington got the lead, and for a long time they had it. But the Oilers get that goal, and I mean, like it wasn't like it was a hard work, go to the net, the kind of goal that you have to score. And I was just when Hyman scored that goal, I thought, man, what would the final have been last year if Hyman had been in it? And I know that's like 2020 hindsight, and we'll never know, and why are you bringing it up? But there's such a different team in that slot and crease area. I mean, hell, most goals get called back, but he really is in there. And maybe one of the things they could look for between now and the deadline is another guy who will just hang in that slot and run the risk of the Ryan Smith loosen some teeth there from the slot. I think they need that. I really do.
Yeah. Without a question, Tide, it's so nice to see his complete disregard for his own well-being to go to the difficult areas. And it's no correlation that when you go to the difficult areas, success will follow you. Talking about the difficult areas, Tide, the goaltender's crease. What'd you think of the goaltending Saturday night?
Well, I thought the pull was fine, but then the puck that got Ingram pulled, it was tipped, and the coach said he didn't see it, which is fair. But I think sometimes you change the goalie out because you want to just to wake everybody up, and I think the coach did that, and it worked out. So who am I to say? One thing I will say is that and I said it at the time, Stuart Skinner was a goalie who was very much criticized here. And the goaltending since has been good, but I think that we're going to have to see Tristan Jarry. We're going to have to see Connor Ingram. Give them a full chance. Let's not get on their back. But playing goal in front of this team is damn difficult, boys. It just is.
Yeah, and you can see, like, even I know what you're saying, Tide, is you're looking for just a jolt, a spark. And I think even when Ingram was kind of going off the ice, he was like, well, hang on a second. I mean, maybe you didn't see that goal go off of Spencer Stastny's shin pad and then passed, and it redirected. There's no question about that. But I think it was more just about getting that spark. And I think there could have been an opportunity even in games prior to do that. And I think Knobloch's just kind of going, that's an avenue I have to maybe look at a little bit more.
Yeah, and it's like the timeout. You have to use all the things. This is a team that it's the huge, massive ceiling and low floor. So maybe you have to, I don't think the modern athlete, responds well to a kick in the butt. The last one who did was Eddie. But I think that I think that they, sometimes maybe just a break and a talk and a calm down, works pretty well. And maybe that was it. I mean, it worked, so I'm not going to question it.
Yeah, I am guilty of being hard on players. There's no denying it. I'm guilty here. Because, part of it is I have been in those shoes, and I did respond well to that. But look, we're all human. I certainly wasn't a perfect player. And there had been moments in my career when the confidence wasn't there. And I can absolutely admit I've been in a shell. I get it, man. We all go through it. Not even just in sport, in life. We all go through the ups and downs of things, Tide.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And I think that it's like, it's so hard. You won a championship, and I guarantee that the moment you won that thing, that all of the times you had been disappointed or finished just shy or played on teams that weren't good enough, it all kind of comes back, and then it washes away because you reach the top of the mountain. And And for this team, they're not there yet, and they should be, but they're not. And so that's like the drive and the grind. And in that, you're always fighting crisis of confidence, because there has to have been, after the last two trips to the finals, there have to have been some doubt creeping in.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's just a matter of controlling your emotions and maybe pushing back those demons that say you're not good enough, because I think the team is good enough, but they have to prove it.
That's exactly it. Now, Low Tide, I wanted to get your thoughts on the minutes distribution of the roster. Now, when it goes to OT and when there's special teams involved, power play and PK, of course, the minutes, they're going to be skewed. But overall, with Chris Knobloch, are you pleased, satisfied with his minute distribution with the players in the roster?
I wasn't earlier, about mid-November, maybe late November. He backed off McDavid's minutes. He was really grinding McDavid, and the ice time was, getting up there consistently, 25, 26 minutes a game. He's done that at times. I know it was a large number on Saturday, but I think that I think he's doing okay with it. What I really wish, I'll turn it around. I'll say, I wish that third line was just a little better, and then he would rely on them more. Like he in the third period on Saturday, he scrapped the third line they just scrapped them for parts I don't think Howard played after the midway point of the third period. And what you want is for him to be confident in that line. I don't know what's going to take. And coaches are always risk averse, but I have less quarrel now than I did in October, November. I think he's backed off of it a little, and I think McDavid specifically benefited. Fewer minutes, but more impact. And he may be creeping in a little bit this way right now with McDavid playing more, but I don't think so. I think they'll be fine. They just needed McDavid, because that was like a 1980s game, man. It was like back and forth, and the hits were hard, and it was filthy, and not just a little bit. That was a 1980s game.
Hey, what'd you think of Ovi on Saturday night?
He's slow.
Yeah.
I love him, but he's slow. Like this is an all-time great. You're watching, a statue skate. They're going to give him a statue, and this is a great player who has confounded goalies forever. They know where he's going to shoot it from, and he can still do it. But he also impacted the game, off the rush, and he was very physical. But this is a problem when you can't get the plays.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, Obi doesn't get to as many plays as he used to. Sure, it's frustrating for him. But it's like, I was a little bit, not like sad. I don't, feel sorry for people, but he's had a great career, and he's made more money than, Eddie. So he's, he's going to be fine. But I think that we're seeing the reason why, Father Time is undefeated is Ovi's not the player he was, not through any fault of his own. It's just the aging process.
Yeah.
Low Tide, we have tonight the Ducks on deck and winners of 7 straight. Can you tee this one up for us a little bit?
Well, both teams are much better against the Western than the Eastern Conference. They have similar records. I'm really curious, because I in my mind I go, okay, those California teams are good, but Kenny Holland did his best to help the Oilers with his summer movements for the Kings, and the other two are they're coming on, but they're not there yet, and maybe like the current New England Patriots, maybe they're going to surprise me. For me, this is going to be a good test for the Oilers against a team that's, we used to call them upstart teams, where they're playing above what we thought they might be doing, but they're full value for it. I think the Oilers will and do have an edge here. It's a home game. I don't think the Ducks are quite as good as their record, so I would expect the Edmonton Oilers to win. But this is really going in a little bit blind. We haven't seen them in a while, and the Ducks' record suggests they're better than they were.
Mm-hmm. I just watched the highlights of that game last night in Calgary, and Beckett Seneca had the hat trick. They win 4-3, but it's a different team, and maybe it's how much do you think it is with the new head coach here, with Joel Quenneville coming in, and how he's been able to put together, and obviously we know what he did in Chicago Tide, but he's been able to maybe galvanize a team that wasn't ready in prior seasons, and they're a little bit older. He knew this is a perfect time for Quenneville to come in here too. So maybe he's just one of the missing elements that they needed while this team is maturing to where it needs to be and wants to be.
Well, that's all true, and he's a hell of a coach. And this is this team has a lot of really good youth, like really, really good young players. So they're dangerous in that if Grenville can get them playing at a certain level and then establish that, then they are going to be that team that surprises everybody at the end of the year. They're if you look at their top, say 5 or 6 scorers, Troy Terry's the only one who's over 25, and Lacombe's in there, McTavish, Gauthier, Carlson, Seneca. You mentioned this is a young team, and they're they've had some weird stuff happen with some of their players over the last few years, and I think what maybe he's done is he's just come in as coach and said, let's just settle the hell down. And Quenneville obviously has been a highly successful coach, and he's got these young players maybe playing a little above their heads and early for where they should be, and that's a bad sign for the rest of the West, I think. We'll see how they do tonight. Back-to-back can sometimes be tough, but it's not like it's, a 3-hour flight from Calgary to Edmonton.
Yeah. Hey, what do you think of those football games yesterday, Tide?
They were wild. I was cheering so hard for Denver because, you lose your quarterback, you're kind of, it's over. But I'll give credit. I mean, the New England Patriots did what they had to do, and they won. And then in the second game, I think was really the whoever won that was going to win the Super Bowl. And I was thrilled to watch Seattle. Their defense is, man, if you watch that game again, Seattle's coverage is as good as I've ever, you've got, the quarterback has just a small window to throw it through. And so many passes were knocked down or batted away. The Seahawks defensively they're a load. I don't know how anybody's going to beat them. I don't think New England beats them in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's going to be a tight one. I have a ton of respect for Mike Vrabel as a head coach. So, like you, I agree. I think Seattle is the better team, and everybody says that. But I think New England's going to make it a lot muckier than what people are giving them credit for, because Mike Vrabel is going to pull them into that fire, man.
Yeah, I'm going to be talking to Declan later. It's got to really hurt him to see them. He's a Buffalo Bills fan. He saw the great New England teams forever, then the Chiefs, and now New England's there, and Buffalo can't get a sniff. But I won't tease him about it or bring it up or anything. But I probably will. It'll probably come up. I don't know how.
Yeah, he's fine. He's got the Pagulas.
What's coming up on the lowdown today, Tide?
We have Rachel Krychak will join us at 12:40. Jason Greger at 1:20. Declan does his Mama MMA on Monday, where we'll talk about. I know you guys between when the breaks are on, and if you don't have to go to the bathroom, you guys are usually fighting and no holds barred. So I know you'll enjoy that conversation. Who wins those fights, by the way? If you guys are in a ring, who wins?
Low Tide is a pig pork. You know the answer to that. Who wins?
I do.
You know the answer. Help me, Eddie. Eddie, Uncle Eddie, Uncle Eddie.
I'll tell you what. I'll give him that, Tide. But you know what? I'm going to get one in.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you are. And you won't remember it the next day, but you'll get that one shot in. It'll be on video for you.
It's got to get one in. That's all you need.
It's got to get your licks in.
Yeah. Thanks, Tide. Have a great show today, buddy.
I'd be on the mat quicker than you, Karius, so don't worry about it. You guys have a good day.
Okay, roll over in that big king-size bed of yours. Come on now. I'm gone, man. So that's going to be my goal, is to have Tide on a video link here at some point.
That'd be nice in bed.
Yeah, we need it. Once it gets light out, and in summertime, and
we
want to
have him laying in bed on his back and just have the laptop on his tummy.
Laptop on the tummy.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, I was thinking sort of a wider angle.
Oh, okay.
Say maybe I don't know, you can get someone.
We getting the animals involved there too?
Sure, but a wider angle shot, and then just have,
You think his pets are more well behaved than Duke's?
Well, I don't know about that, but
I'd say so. He's not on the mic to defend himself. So
yeah, Duke's this is going to be a tough day for him here.
Yeah, he's going to fight through it, though. He's a champ.
Battle. When we come back, we'll get to some of your texts, 833-401-1440. Kevin Karius Show with Eddie Steele, Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick, and Mac the Intern on Sports 1440 AM radio. We are streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
Wing Wednesday at First Round. Whether you're coming for the first round, the last round, or a few rounds in between, they've got you covered with half-price wings every Wednesday night. Half-price wings. Over 35 delicious flavors like Cajun salt and pepper, maple bacon, and Inferno wings. Now half price every Wednesday night. Wash them down with a cold pint of Canadian or Coors Light for only $5.75. Half price Wing Wednesdays at First Round in West Ed and now downtown. First Round, burgers, beer, sports.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
This hockey season, before every game, check out the pregame show with Andrew Walker on Sports 1440. It's brought to you by Titan Supply, your only source for rigging, lifting, and hauling products. Visit TitanSupply.ca.
When the ground freezes, you wonder how anything can get done. And instead of staying outside in temperatures that would make a polar bear cry, you head inside where it's toasty and warm. But that's not what GS Construction does. Because while the ground freezes above, we plan below, rebuilding and revitalizing the systems that keep our communities working year after year. Now, don't worry. GS Construction promises to do everything safely and efficiently, and we'll wear our extra warm clothing outside. For more on what we do, visit gsconstruction.ca.
Shoulder pain. It can make even the simplest things like reaching up, lifting a bag, brushing your teeth, or sleeping frustrating. Rotator cuff strains, impingement, arthritis, they're some of the most common issues we treat every day. I'm Grant Fedoruk, and at Leading Edge Physio, our team brings postgraduate training, evidence-based technology, and just the right amount of humor and humility to help you feel better. Because we never forget the most important part, the gratitude we feel for every patient who allows us the opportunity to care for them. Because life shouldn't hurt. When it does, leadingedgephysio.com.
The Junior Prospects Hockey League's fourth season is now underway. The JPHL offers elite athletic and academic opportunities for players in the 14U, 15U, 17U, and 18U divisions. All games are broadcast live on Silent Ice TV, featuring a showcase-style schedule and competitive matchups across Western Canada. Players work with experienced coaches, trainers, and elite hockey personnel. Learn more about Western Canada's fastest-growing elite hockey development stream at juniorprospectshockeyleague.com.
Whoa, I gotta put some money on the game tonight. We hit our monthly budget. Whoa, how did you get in here? I'm you, the responsible you. We're right. We'll play another time. Sounds more like us.
If you gamble, use your game sense. Visit GameSenseAB.ca.
Reason number 59 why Nissan is built for our winter. Because when winter storms make on-road feel like off-road, we've got you. The Nissan Rogue comes standard with intelligent all-wheel drive and remote engine start to conquer even the harshest winter conditions. Right now, you can lease a 2026 Rogue S for 0.9% for 36 months. Visit your local Nissan dealer today or nissan.ca for more details. Conditions apply.
Visit your local Edmonton and area Nissan dealer for more information.
The Kevin Karius Show, breaking down Edmonton's favorite teams, even though his favorite Junior A hockey team is the Yorkton Terriers. Thanks for checking in with Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program, 743 in Edmonton. Kevin Karius, Eddie Steele with you on a Monday morning. So glad you're with us. Last night in the NBA, big win for the Toronto Raptors over the OKC Thunder, 103-101. And man, you know, it was a while back, Eddie. We were talking about OKC with the start they had that, hey, you know what, these guys could set
Touch
the
that record, yeah.
It set the record for fewest losses.
9 losses, I believe, is the record.
No, I think is it 9? Well, they're at 10 now, right?
It was Golden State
their 10th loss.
who had 9, I believe.
Yeah, it was their 10th loss last night.
And you know, it all started the Spurs. Spurs really had their number.
Yeah.
Spurs had beat them 3 straight earlier in
And
the
they
season.
had for the NBA
In that cup,
Oh,
and,
wow.
yeah.
I mean, that was so exciting. That's what happened.
riveting.
It's hard to recover from losing the NBA Cup.
In-season
You
tournament.
know, like, I don't know how a team can possibly
How do you
do it.
bounce back?
No, exactly.
It's crazy.
Emmanuel quickly had 23 points, 11 boards. And I believe it's the 10th loss of the season. Yes. So SGA was not very good in the later stages of the game as well. So
And Raps sitting in 3rd place in the East.
Yeah.
Very comfortable.
Very comfortable. Text 833-401-1440. Jay, our buddy Jay in Victoria. Good morning, guys. Great weekend of sports. Bouchard, game of his life. Seahawks. Stafford's offense was unstoppable. They should have taken the points when they could with 6 minutes left. That's a field goal again. So now, because they were down by 4, correct? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're down by 4. So take the points and maybe just instead of going for a touchdown at that point, now lock your defense in and then you only need a field goal to
Field
win
goal wins it. They don't take the points very often anymore, KK.
No. Unreal. What else we got from the text line? And that was Husk said, yes, Husk, great Raptors win over OKC. Even if OKC were missing some key pieces. And lucky that SG was cold in the 4th. He had 3 points. Doesn't happen often. Warriors went 73-9. From
big basketball guy, Husks. Big basketball guy. I listen on other programs, and he's a good texter to the basketball program and stuff.
Hey, you know what? I just watched the highlights of the golf this morning, too. This comes from the real Duke. Morning, guys. Shout out to Scotty Scheffler going all in 80-85 for his PGA 2026 debut.
Well, it's funny. He actually called me and asked for a couple tips. How is he going to win this tournament?
Scheffler called you for some tips. He went 63, 64, 68, and 66 yesterday. 1.656 million to take the American Express
pocket change.
Pocket change. I should mention the Canuck. Where was he?
Corey?
Yeah, no. Taylor.
I
think he was. I don't know where he is. I can't find him now. Anyway, he was the top Canadian. Nick Taylor. But a 4-stroke lead over Jason Day and Ryan Gerard and Matt McCarty.
Have you been following a lot of the PGA and just how some of those guys that went to live, they're now coming back?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, most notably probably Koepka, I guess.
I forget what the all the points are in terms of them being able to play at, like they're not able to draw a salary.
You got to be.
I forget what
you got to
it
be
is.
Matt Damon from Goodwill Hunting to figure it out, Eddie.
It's quite something though, how all those guys, and it was such a big deal back in the day. They they jumped ship, went to live. They got their huge, crazy paydays, and here they are coming crawling back.
So there were a couple things in the Seattle LA Rams game that may have cost their respective teams the game almost.
Oh my goodness.
We'll start with the first one, and it's the muffed punt.
Okay.
So that resulted in a quick 7 points on the board for Seattle. And then
that one's okay. That's okay. That's excusable. That his feet got tripped up. Huge mistake.
Yeah.
But it's a mistake within the game of football. The next one, though,
You're
Kevin,
talking about
the
Woolen.
next one.
Okay, Woolen, right?
The football gods shone down brightly on him when he got burned for a touchdown the next play.
So his head's not in it. And that's a great job by Stafford to go after him.
Yes.
Because his head's not in it because he's realized that he might have just cost his, because it was 4th and 12. Just so our listeners know, it was 4th and 12. They're going to punt the ball. Instead, he yaps to the sidelines, gets an objectionable conduct penalty, and then
first down.
Next play, touchdown to Puka Nacua right at the pylon. Now, as bad as that was, I was even more like if I were a teammate. He starts jawing with another teammate on the sidelines after they get back after the touchdown. Like, well, you would have probably grabbed this guy and put him in a Texas chokehold.
I've done worse for less.
Yeah.
I really have. No, I've lost my mind on the sideline on some teammates for a lot less things than that. And I was in the wrong during those moments. But this, you know how I feel about this, Kevin. Within the game of football, if you have a holding penalty, you hit a quarterback late, okay, I can get it. You're the bullets are flying fast. But when you stop them and then you intentionally go in front of their bench and selfishly jaw at them because you're not doing anything but getting your own personal rocks off.
Mm-hmm.
And then they get the first down because Kevin, I had to hold myself back from my TV. I wanted to jump in and choke him out, man. That is the most selfish thing I've ever seen. That absolutely selfish. There's no other word for it than you're a selfish, immature boy.
Now, I was watching the game with old man Baker, and I said, if I were coaching, I don't know if I would put him back in the game. But again, I don't know how much depth Seattle has in the secondary, and if he's that great of a player that they need him on the field.
Yeah.
But what would have been said after, even though you win the game? What gets said? Like,
that's a dark moment on a very bright spot. Yeah. That's a dark stain for sure. Coach is going to address that because you could have cost us all an opportunity at the Super Bowl over nothing, over you wanting to talk trash. It wasn't like you even got held and you wanted to get into someone's face for holding you during the play. You just wanted to go and show up the bench. You selfishly wanted to show up the bench. It does nothing for anybody. And I love it. I love how karma shows itself and that he got burned for a touchdown the next play. I wanted Seattle to win, but I love that he got burned for a touchdown. In your face, man. Eat that.
What would you like again? Like, I'm thinking, so you go to the Super Bowl here. This is going to be the biggest game of this guy's life, Bolin. Maybe you don't start him.
A little bit of discipline.
And just say, listen, buddy, or I'm just trying to think how I would handle it.
I think with the 2-week delay, everything will be water under the bridge at that point. But in that moment when I thought, who are you when his one teammate plays the same position, another DB is getting on him? I thought, who are you to even be jawing back, man? You should be on the sideline with a towel over your head and your head hanging low. That's what you should be. That should be the body posture, not defending yourself and arguing with your teammates over you costing a touchdown. You didn't just cost a first down. You cost a touchdown on top of it. Plug, stick, loser move, man. That it gets me so frustrated because it's selfish, man. There is no other word for it. It's not like he just lost his mind in the heat. No, the play was over. You intentionally walked over and
not
chose
just for a second or two.
John at coaches. It wasn't even players. You chose to make that move. That's mentally immature, man.
The old woolly bully. Mark Texan, I don't understand why the Rams didn't go for 2 after the last TD. Duke and I were talking about it before the show. Make no sense to kick the extra point and make it a 4-point game. They could have made it a field goal game. Which, again, even after that 4th and 1 when they gambled, or 4th and 2, whatever it was.
Right.
Maybe a bit more. I can't remember now. And they go to the end zone. It's incomplete. So that could have been a field goal there. And
could have.
You're looking,
you can steal points. Yeah, there was. And you can try and steal points wherever. But there's always the risk when you're trying to steal points. It can bite you.
Exactly. I think pretty well everyone's going to be on the Seattle bandwagon here to win the Super Bowl over New England.
I think the roster is better. For sure, their roster is better. Quarterback play, Sam Darnold's outplaying Drake May. Safe to say. But I think that Mike Vrabel, as I said, with low tide, is going to really make it a mucky game. I don't think it's going to be it won't be a shootout. I think the defense of New England has the fortitude to stay in the game, and I think it'll be a really tough, grinded out game.
It's funny how you look at everyone been talking about the head coaches, the 4 head coaches that were left here. And the guy that got the least amount of ink is Mike McDonald. By far.
Easily.
So think about how, if you look at the Rams and the Seahawks game, think about how animated McVay is. like running up and down the sidelines. He's like, he's in everyone's face. Yeah, good play, good job.
Fired up.
And McDonald is just lower key. And it's going to be the same now with Vrabel. So Vrabel versus McDonald.
Yes.
You're going to see, again, Vrabel's very animated. He's in there. He's patting everybody on the fanny and,
bloodying himself by headbutting his players and stuff.
But McDonald is just pulled back and a little more
of a
composed.
calm approach.
Yeah. So it's funny how you can have, their success can be picked up from either way, garnered a couple of ways of how you portray yourself and how your team follows you.
Where do you lean? What are you thinking?
Well, I think everyone will be leaning towards Seattle, but I think maybe they win and don't cover. How's that sound?
Oh, okay. Yeah. High scoring, tight game.
No, I
what do you
think
think?
middle of the road.
Yeah. Like, do you think we'll see what the offensive output that we saw from Seattle's offense yesterday? Sam Darnold throwing for 300 plus, and
I see them putting 28 on the board. And
how about JSN too? Oh,
one catch.
Dude's a baller, man.
Yeah, one catch, the one-handed,
the one where he got his feet in.
And I was saying yesterday too. You know what? I'll be honest. I don't, and the same can go for Puka. I don't want those guys beating me. I'll let Cooper Kupp beat me.
Totally.
I'll let Rashid beat me.
Yeah.
Don't let, when JSN caught that touchdown in the end zone, he couldn't have been more wide open.
It's true.
That's the guy you got to key on. So.
Yeah. And then for New England, you're not going to let Steph Diggs beat you.
Yeah.
You're going to make them have to run the ball.
They are going to have to really run the ball.
Oh, they are.
And I think Drake May is going to have to run.
He's going to have to make plays.
Yeah.
And it probably will be with his legs. Stidham.
Mm-hmm.
He looked okay at times. I mean, he did settle into the game, found a little groove, but you could tell there's just so many moments where it was too big for him.
Jaybird says, in Vic, Eddie, great take on Woolen. That pissed me off so much. Champions don't do that trash.
No, you don't. There's no other word than selfish.
Mm-hmm.
You are putting your own emotions and your own ego in front of the team. And as a team player, man, that burns my britches.
No kidding. Top of the hour, Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet will join us. Before that, time now for a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Riverside Honda. 59 years and counting. A St. Albert and surrounding areas premier Honda and Can-Am dealer. It's your dream. Ride it at riversidehonda.com. Here is the Duke.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Six-game slate across the NHL yesterday. The Maple Leafs losing to Colorado 4-1. Kraken double up on the Devils 4-2. Golden Knights lose big in our nation's capital 7-1 at the hands of the Senators. Penguins get past the Canucks 3-2. Blackhawks losing to Florida 5-1. And Beckett Seneca with a hat trick as the Ducks come back to beat the Flames 4-3 in overtime. From the PWHL, Minnesota beating New York 6-2. And Vancouver tops Seattle 3-1. And the Edmonton Oil Kings at home yesterday afternoon. They beat Saskatoon 5-1. Championship Sunday in the NFL. The Patriots win an ugly one in snow-filled Mile High 10-7 over the Broncos to advance to the Super Bowl for the first time in the post-Brady era. And Seattle beat the Rams 31-27. Sam Darnold with 3 touchdown passes in the victory for a rematch with the Patriots in a couple weeks' time. In the association, Raptors beating Oklahoma City 103-101. Emmanuel quickly 23 points and a double-double night for him. Elsewhere around the association, Sacramento losing to Detroit 139-116. The Spurs fall to New Orleans 104-95. And in the nightcap, Clippers beating Brooklyn 126-89. Scotty's Tournament of Hearts continuing from Ontario on the ice this morning. Team Canada and Kerry Anderson going up against Quebec. Yukon playing BC. Saskatchewan taking on the Northwest Territories. And Nova Scotia currently on the ice against Caitlin Laws at her Manitoba rink. Laws leading 2-0 in the fourth end. Coming up in hour 2 of the Kevin Karius Show, we'll be joined by Sportsnet's Mark Spector, and we'll check in with a new edition of In or Out. I'm Brandon Douglas at your Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
When picking a New Year's resolution, try to avoid things you have no influence over.
Like bringing home the cup? That would be awesome.
But completely outside your control. Instead, pick something you can control, like bringing home some Wilhauk beef jerky.
That would also be awesome. But what if we brought the cup home to Canada and it was filled with Wilhauk beef jerky?
Okay, I'll allow it.
Wilhauk beef jerky, only available in Leduc. Get yours today, because you don't win cups with salad.
New Year's resolutions. We all make them. We all say we're going to start eating healthier or going to the gym or starting that new hobby. But at GS Construction, we actually follow through on our New Year's resolution because it's the same every year. We promise to set the groundwork, literally, for another year of progress and growth. And we've stuck by that resolution since 1974. So start that all-you-can-eat diet. GS Construction is going to start planning right now for the year ahead. For more on what we do, visit gsconstruction.ca.
This hockey season, before every game, check out the pregame show with Andrew Walker on Sports 1440. It's brought to you by Titan Supply, your only source for rigging, lifting, and hauling products. Visit titansupply.ca.
You matter. Your mental health matters, and you're braver than you think. Not Alone is an organization focused on creating a space of acceptance and support through tough, meaningful conversation. My name is Tyler Smith, and you are never alone. NotAloneCo.com. It's okay to not be okay.
Vinny and Don in Hockey are dedicated to skill development for all hockey players. If you know a student athlete interested in growing as a person and a player, register for a free shadow day. Beginner or experienced, this program develops a student athlete skill in a supportive environment. It's a great opportunity for prospective student athletes entering grades 3 through 12 to see what Vimy and Donnan have to offer. Visit vimyridge.epsb.ca or donnan.epsb.ca for more info and to sign up.
Get ready.
We're going to make you an offer you can't refuse.
Shoresy's back, and it's only on Crave.
We need total buy-in from every guy in this room.
The Smash Hit Series returns for a brand new season.
We're going to be playing the EU All-Stars.
Shoresy is facing his toughest competition yet.
This EU team is spectacular.
They are not scared of them.
Hear that, Shoresy?
Let's make sure they never forget who we are.
Shoresy, new season. Stream now, only on Crave. Subscribe at crave.ca.
Sports 1440.
All sports,
all day.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Thanks for listening to Edmonton's sports leader.
All right, welcome back to the big program, 8 o'clock in Edmonton. Hey, just got a text in from Heavy Chevy. Got to mention this for sure, gents, some Edmonton-related ski news. Edmonton's Allison Mackey finished 13th in the 20-kilometer mass start Classic World Cup race in Switzerland, holding on to the U23 leader green bib in the World Cup standings. Allison will compete for Canada in the upcoming Winter Olympic Games. So congratulations to Allison Mackey. And thanks for that, Heavy Chevy. Time now for On the Mark, brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Mike and the crew would like to thank you for all the support that you gave them in 2025 and also wish you a prosperous 2026. Together, we've had almost 500 families, and we are going to do it again. It'll be happening in probably like November-ish. Thanks to you from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC as we welcome in Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet. Good morning, Spec.
Morning, boys.
And you're looking sharp, feeling groovy.
Feeling groovy. A little bit of football this week here yesterday.
Yeah, you watched both games or what?
Watched both games, mostly every down. Actually, I was building a giant thing for the bathroom, like a cabinet. So it took like 2 football games to put together. So it was just perfect, actually.
Hey, wait a minute. Like, is this at the lake or where?
Yeah.
So a giant cabinet. What is this, like an
Those
IKEA
IKEA
thing or what?
instructions are hard.
As Wayfair, man. It was, I don't know, same thing, right? But
So it took you 7 hours to do this?
Well, I was watching football the whole time, right? I could have done it in half of that time if I was paying attention to the job.
You know how it is, Kevin.
How many rum and
That's
coke?
perfect. Come
How
on,
many rum and
give me
cokes
credit.
as well?
I say to the wife, look, me and the dog, we're going to the lake on Sunday. We're going to build this thing. Oh, that's a great idea, honey. Way to go. Get out there. And there's 2 football games on. What do you want? Like,
you knew exactly.
No, he knew 100% he did.
I should get some kind of award here.
Well, did you take a picture of it?
Well, yeah, I sent one to my wife just to prove that I actually made the thing.
Yeah. I'm betting all the other guys came over and assembled it while you guys just set it up.
No, you can't have 2. You can't even have 2 people building those things, man. Like, if you got one other guy doing it a different way, I want to build it myself. I don't want anyone else in there.
Okay, how many tools did you use? What did you
Oh,
use?
you don't need many tools, right? What do I got? A hammer, a drill, a couple different screwdrivers. That's about it. I haven't cleaned up my mess yet.
I don't even mess with that. All that building is for my wife.
Really?
Yes.
What's
I
the
don't.
matter with you?
I can't do it.
Really?
Nope. I'm a physical laborer. That stuff for me, where the mental, I lose my
Physical
mental
labor. Yeah. That's just wow.
Show me a couple of yards worth of gravel, and I'll get that sucker moved in a few wheelbarrows. That's for sure. But building that IKEA, boy,
Yeah.
Unbelievable. So when did you go? You went out yesterday after the game, Saturday night, Spec, or what?
I went out yesterday morning.
Yeah.
I had to haul a couple things out here. Brought the game out here. Like I say, had both football games on. I thought the Denver game it's fun when it snows, but it wrecked the game. They stopped executing when it started really snowing. Like, wasn't much of a football game, that Denver game in the end. But the Seattle game I thought was excellent all the way through. I mean, if Denver had a kicker, I guess they win. Is that what we think, or what?
Or you don't gamble on fourth and whatever and make it 10-0.
Well, yeah. It was pretty early, wasn't it?
Still, it was. But again, we talked about it in Eddie's great point. You got a quarterback that hasn't played for years. Put some points on the board from your defense is playing well enough that's a 2-score game now.
Well, maybe your kicker would have missed that field goal, though, hey?
Yeah, but that one was so early. The gamble that they went for it was on their second drive of the game, I believe.
Yeah.
Or third drive of the game. So it was early, and they were down on like the 10. They gambled 4th and 1 from inside 20 yards.
I don't mind that. I mean, you didn't lose the game in the second quarter. It was a 3-point game in the second half here. Come on. What the heck?
Absolutely. But when the circumstances of a quarterback, young quarterback, the defense who had
give them the points,
they had shut New England out at that point. It's 7-0. New England didn't have anything going. You go up 10-0, that changes a lot.
Yep. Yeah, well, sure. Anyway, once that snow came, they couldn't kick, they couldn't pass, they couldn't run. It was very dreary football after that, I thought.
Yeah, you used a good term, the execution. They couldn't execute. I like those types of games, where it's you just got to figure out a way. But in terms of the execution, the offense couldn't get the job done.
What'd you make of the game Saturday night, Spec? Oilers come back and pick up 2 really valuable points thanks to that 6-5 win over Washington in overtime.
Yeah, I you know what? This is one where being at home on your couch and watching that game and not having to write it, or I get caught up in a game like that as a writer because it's a late start, so I don't have much time. The Oilers are going to lose. Oh, then they're going to win. Oh, then they're going to lose. I didn't enjoy that game so much. And at the end, I realized, oh my God, this is one of the best games of the year. Right. And then I saw Jack Michael's calls on social media, and he's like, oh my God, you wait all season for a game like this one. And I'm thinking, man, it didn't seem so great when you're at the rink fretting over your copy, but it was just a classic game. Oilers score late, score in overtime. Bouchard was 6 points plus 5. And as Ekholm points out, draws the penalty in overtime. There was going to be a penalty on that play.
Yeah.
I mean, he played Bouchard played the perfect game, I think.
6 points, pretty tough to beat it. I've taken a little heat, Spec, on the text line this morning because, as I've said, I mean, right now, Evan Bouchard is a point back at Cale Makar for points for defensemen. Zach Werenski's at 55 as well with Bouchard. And I said, well, let's be honest. If Evan Bouchard finishes the season with more points than Cale Makar, is he not a finalist for the Norris Trophy?
He's a finalist, I would say. Probably.
Yeah.
What kind of heat are you getting? What are you saying?
Well, people are saying that I'm dumb and don't know. I don't watch, and
meaning that he shouldn't be in that.
He shouldn't be in the conversation. Yeah, is what they're saying.
But based off how the voting goes with points, I mean, the voters favor points for defensemen, so clearly he's in the conversation.
But we've talked about this for a long time, Spec. Obviously, right? When Evan Bouchard is on his game, he's as good as anyone. But he has made mistakes and they're big ones. Having said that, those mistakes are fewer and less here in the last few weeks. Would you agree with that?
Oh, for sure. Like, I think we and I'm not going to rewrite history. I've pointed out a lot of those mistakes, and I'm not saying I haven't. And sometimes they've killed the Oilers, and I get paid to say why the Oilers lose tonight. And if it's if it's Bouchard's fault, that's what I say. And if it's someone else's fault, that's what I say. But I'm also here to tell you there haven't been many of those games since about November 15th.
Yeah.
And it's one thing to make a mistake. Hey, man, he's got the puck all night. He's going to cough a puck up. He's going to make a bad pass. That's just it's
the law of averages.
Frederick, what's that?
It's the law of averages.
It's the law of averages. Trent Frederick doesn't make mistakes. Guess why, guys? He never plays and he never has the puck. That's why. So, whatever. Don't tell me, I saw him make a mistake last week. Big deal. How many pucks does Draisaitl give away? He's one of the best players in the game.
Yeah.
So that part, you got to get past that. He's on pace to be a point per game player here from your blue line, an elite number one defenseman in the game. And sure, I'm with you. If he ends up with 82 points, you're darn right he's a Norris finalist, and he should be.
Much like you, Spec, I'm pretty hard on the player. I really personally want my defensemen to be big, strong, firm defenders first, and then the offense will come. Excuse me. But with Bouchard, sure, he has these glaring mistakes because he has the puck so much. But then show me other defensemen outside of Cale Makar where they're going and getting you 6 points, right? So you have to take the good with the bad.
Yeah, listen, this is the kind of team they have. Don't forget that the Oilers have had the best power play in the league for about 5 years since Bouchard's been running it. I'm not telling you he's the only reason, but he's a big reason for it. So listen, we're not going to argue if he's a really top flight player that everyone in the league would want on their team. We can argue whether he should have got a better look for Team Canada. We can argue whether he's going to win a Norris. But if we're having an argument about Evan Bouchard, it better be about how elite he is, not whether he's any good or whether you don't want him, or give me a break. Who doesn't want him?
Yeah. Mark Spector with us from Rogers Sportsnet. What do you make of this game tonight? You got Anaheim coming into town, Spec. They won last night 4-3. They've won 7 in a row. Yep. They had another long winning streak earlier. This is a game for second place, even almost first place when it comes down to the Oilers if they can get a win in the Pacific Division. But boy, this is a team it's a very dangerous team. Very dangerous team, 5-on-5, deadly 5-on-5.
Yeah, I think the Oilers, the Oilers have to take Anaheim seriously. Let's go back. For about 4 years, Edmonton used to chuck their sticks and gloves over the boards and beat Anaheim, and it was easy. And then last year it wasn't so easy. And if I'm not mistaken, Anaheim won more than they lost against Edmonton last year. And it was a bit of a transition where Anaheim was like, hey, we're not, Edmonton still wasn't taking them that seriously, and Anaheim had improved. So here we are. Anaheim, if they win tonight, they pass you in the standings. Anaheim's here to stay, right? They're in your division. They're going to be a tough out now for, you tell me how many years, because they got a really good young team and an excellent program building up there. So I think it's time for the Oilers to say, okay, well, you know what? These guys are, if we don't watch out, they're going to be our equal. And if we don't watch out, they're going to beat us. So this could be a first-round playoff meeting against Anaheim. This is a team you're going to see down the road in the playoffs over the next couple of years, I guarantee you. So I think it's time to look Anaheim in the eye and say, okay, welcome to the club of good teams, and we're going to treat you like you're a good team. We're going to play you like you're a good team. And I think we'll see a concerted Oilers effort right along that, because last year they didn't take Anaheim seriously and it bit them in the rear end.
The Oilers went 1-3 last year against the Ducks, Spec.
Mm-hmm.
So
good pull. Good pull. Good pull.
Just doing my best. Well, here's the big thing tonight. If you look at it and you look where Anaheim is in the standings, and that's where I was talking about 5v5 play, Spec. Anaheim right now has the 26th worst, or best, if you want to call it that, power play, 16.7%. Their PK is 23rd, at 77.6%. So when you look at the Oilers, they're number 1 on power play and number 10 PK. So, special teams way from night and day between these two teams. going into this one.
Well, so why do you think that is? Like, they got a ton of skill there. Why can't they? Why wouldn't they have a good power play?
I don't know. It's a great question.
You know, that they're close. Like, to me, a young team like that, I would expect them to have a good power play, maybe not great PK, and be working at their 5-on-5 games. So if you're telling me they got their 5-on-5 games sorted out and they just have to figure out the power play, I think that can happen in a month. You know, like, I think they have the players to have a good power play, don't they, Kev?
Well, I mean, I would think so. I mean, Jackson Lacombe's their one D man. They run it similar to the Oilers, and Cutter Gauthier's on the power play along with Seneca and Kreider, for net front presence. And they probably split theirs up. We'd have to ask the Duke. They're probably more of a 50-50 between number 1 and number 2 power play units, but it should be better than 16.7%, you'd think.
Oh my goodness. Are you kidding me? So anyway, listen, it's fun. Like, that was a doormat team.
Yeah.
We've watched Anaheim over the years, guys. We all remember the days when you went in there and it was Corey and Getzlaff and Corey Perry and Getzlaff and those guys and Jaguar, and you couldn't beat them. And Edmonton was bad, and it was a death march through LA. Remember those days?
And they've had guys like that that haven't been in the lineup, in McTavish and Leo Carlson's out. So I mean, those are a couple of guys. Even a guy like Troy Terry. Those are guys that would be probably a little more front row center on power play time and things like that. But with those guys out, that's made a big difference of the personnel that they've implemented there.
Yeah, sure. So now they're a team that's like, they've gone through their build and it's worked. This isn't Buffalo with a 14-year rebuild, right? They took the commensurate amount of time. Like, it's a good study for me. A lot of teams say, oh, we're not going to rebuild. It takes too long. There's no guarantees, and there aren't any guarantees. But when you watch a team like Anaheim and San Jose, they're both coming out of the same deal. They were both, Edmonton, like I say, Edmonton beat those teams for fun for about 5 years.
Yeah.
And now they're both coming out of it, and they both look like they got great futures. And we're going back to a time now where it's the California trip's going to get real hard. And other than Edmonton, Vancouver and Calgary aren't holding up their end of it up here. That's for sure. So, that's good. It's nice to see those teams emerge from the ashes and pull off a proper rebuild. Mike Greer and Patty Verbeek, the 2 GMs, good for them, man.
Yeah, they have gone about it the right way.
And plus, it's not California either, Spick, but now, Utah's no slouch now either. I mean.
Yep. Well, come on. How long was Arizona brutal for?
Awful.
About time Utah was any good, Kev.
Well, for sure. They've won 5 in a row now.
Good. You don't get to suck for 15 years. We'll give you 5 or 6, but holy man, Arizona was a brutal team forever, and now they're good. Billy Armstrong's, picked up that team. He's got a good team, and congratulations, and it's nice to see. But I also got I think the amendment is, it's about time. How about that?
Hey, never mind. How about Buffalo, Speck? You want to talk about teams sucking for 14, 15 years?
Look at ownership, man.
Third place in the Atlantic.
Yeah,
They've
that's
gone
a
from last
welcome.
place to third in the Atlantic.
Yeah. So they're a welcome addition, right? Good
Yeah.
for Buffalo. And the poor fans there. I mean, oh my God. It's amazing they've hung in with that team in Buffalo.
Poor fans.
Man, remember when Roger Crozier was in net for them, Speck?
Yes. I'm old enough. I worked a game or two in the odd.
Oh, man.
Hey, speaking of net, who do you think we'll see tonight? Is it going to be Tristan, just based off how things played out, or what?
Probably his start. Yeah, that was the first, not the first, but, Ingram just wasn't sharp. And smart pull, I wonder if Knobloch at the second he pulled Ingram knew that puck had bounced off of Stastny's foot and changed direction, but it's nonetheless, it still went right through the goalie. But it was an unlucky one. He was playing the pass on that play like he should have been, and it got kicked and it went 5-hole. And I'm not blaming Ingram that much. It was just an unlucky goal. But my point is, Knobloch ends up making the right play. He swaps his goalie out. He gets enough saves to win a game 6-5. And
Here's the thing too, Speck, though. And I bet if you threw a little truth serum into Knobber, he'd say, you know what, I probably should have given Jari the hook the game before against Pittsburgh. Nothing against the Jari goals,
Yeah, but same deal.
Same deal. And I
Yep.
bet you any money he would have thought about that again and went, I probably should have done that. And now he's going, let's do it tonight. That's where
Yeah,
he's
so you're saying that the absence of a Jari pull against Pittsburgh is why he was quick with the hook on Ingram, eh?
That's where I'm going with it, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I like that. I think he probably looked back at that Pittsburgh game and said, "You're right, Kev." Probably said, "You know what? I should have acted."
Mm-hmm.
And I'm
Well,
gonna
think
act
about
next
what
time.
happened. Even after the third goal, I mean, after the 3 goals in 37 seconds, what happened? Jari goes to the bench and they work on his skates for 2 minutes, kind of like a timeout, right?
Yep.
So, that maybe that had something to do with it to quell a little bit of momentum, but he could have easily pulled him at that point right there.
I think there's probably playing your old team is mixed
That's right.
into that. You don't want to rip a guy out of there against his old team and embarrass him.
Yeah.
So, but you know what? Listen, if that's part of an evolving coaching style, like I got no problem with ripping Goalie out of there early.
Mm-hmm.
Like let's get him out while the game's still retrievable. I always felt we treat goalies with these kid gloves. We're scared to pull them because they're going to get mad. All that's, you know what? They're a hockey player. And if they don't get out there and have some good shifts early, they sit in the bench the same way Trent Frederick does when he doesn't have good shifts early.
Yeah.
So,
Hey,
I love that.
Spec, what do you got on this shelf that you made in the bathroom? Like you got like all of Shelka's beautiful fragrant soaps and all that. And what do you got? Your high karate cologne and all that stuff? What do you got?
Axe. He's an Axe body spray guy.
He is high karate, maybe
karate.
Eh?
Karate.
Aquavelva, man.
It's me, Spec.
Aquavelva. Can you still buy Aquavelva?
I don't know.
There was one Detroit writer like 20 years after they stopped selling Aquavelva who still wore the stuff. He stunk like Aquavelva every time you saw him. It's like, man, he must have bought a trainload of that stuff.
I can't see you on video, Spec, but you got that duster? That mustache?
No mustache for me, man.
No
Clean
mustache.
shaven, good looking.
Okay. I was gonna say he's definitely got something to thicken that up. Oh,
He'd have probably a little Brute 33 on there too.
Brute.
Yeah. Brute 33.
maybe a little just for men coloring too.
A little
You a
Helsinki
just for
formula,
men
all that
guy,
stuff.
Spec?
Just for men. Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm the smartest guy here. I build it and leave it completely empty and let my wife stock it all up. What do you think? I'm going to stock that thing and have her come and take it all apart and do it her way?
Dude,
Come on.
when I was in my mid-20s, I noticed the hair started coming out in my football helmet, and I would go to the shoppers and buy so much Rogaine.
Oh, really?
Clearly didn't work. Didn't work.
She's going, right, Eddie?
Yeah, she's gone. She's gone. Little curls in my helmet.
Good stuff, Spec. We'll see you down at the rink later tonight.
All right, boys.
Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet on the mark. Brought to you powered by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. This truck's for you. Check them out and save now at northgategm.com. I picture, like when this is years and years ago, Eddie, they used to have, you'd put them over your toilet. Like it was a cabinet sort of thing. But what it was spring loaded. The feet were spring loaded and the top was spring loaded. So you would kind of pull them down and then they would just hold by.
I get it.
From the floor to the ceiling.
I get it.
Like every older person had this in their bathroom because it was a simple assembly.
And then they reach it to pull down.
Yeah. And then they had the sliding, they were sort of steel, like sort of tinny steel where you slid these things. And then that was where you put all your stuff in there. That's what I pictured that this thing is at the lake. So
Spec, he got it done.
Oh, he got her done. That's just too funny, man. When we come back, we'll get to some of your texts. We'll also go in or out with Eddie Steele in this 8 o'clock hour. David Amber to join us at 9:20 as well. It's the Kevin Carey Show with Eddie Steele, Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick, and Mac the Intern on Sports 1440 AM radio. We are streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
Hear ye, Dragon Fruit has returned to Booster Juice. Prepare thyself for the legendary alchemy of the Dragon Slayer Smoothie, Pink Dragon Booster Mixer, and Dragon Booster Ball.
Does the dragon taste like chicken?
Nay, Booster Juice uses only delicious tropical dragon fruit. No dragons are harmed. Get thee to Booster Juice before dragon fruit vanishes once more.
Booster Juice, Canadian born, blending since 1999.
This hockey season, before every game, check out the pregame show with Andrew Walker on Sports 1440. It's brought to you by Titan Supply, your only source for rigging, lifting, and hauling products. Visit titansupply.ca.
Need a new ride for road trips, errands, or just life on the go? Go Auto offers a massive selection with over 15,000 new and used vehicles to choose from. With over 70 locations across Western Canada, finding your next ride has never been easier. Whether it's a roomy SUV for the family, a sleek car for the open road, or a rugged truck for your weekend adventures, you'll find it here at a price you'll love. Explore thousands of vehicles today at goauto.ca.
Five-time Junior Hockey League champions, the Spruce Grove Saints, are excited to be back on the ice at the brand new Thompson Family Arena. Be part of the action and enjoy some of the best junior hockey Canada has to offer by experiencing a Saints game for your next outing. Tickets range from $10 to $17 with free parking and some of the best food and drink specials in town. For more information on tickets and how you can become a partner, go to sgsaints.ca.
Looking for auto parts without the dealership price tag? You'll save big here at Ed's Auto Salvage in Westlaw. From engines and alternators to doors and glass, we carry quality tested used parts at unbeatable prices. Why spend thousands when you can spend hundreds? Keep your car and your budget running strong with Ed's Auto Salvage. I'm Lisa, inviting you to stop in soon or visit us online. We offer province-wide shipping and daily delivery to Edmonton. edsautosalvage.com.
Diablo Boots sells only Canadian-made work and biker boots made by Canada West. No American or boots made in China, so no tariffs. All of Diablo's boots have replaceable soles and heels for longer life. Sizes 6 to 14 triple E. Buy quality, buy Canadian. And support Canada West and Diablo, the two best names in the boot business. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Buy Canadian. They're terrific.
He's heading into the driveway. Temperature's dropping fast, folks. He opens the hood and, oh no, the battery's on thin ice.
Yeah, that's a tough break, Tim. I mean, you can't expect to compete and win with weak parts in your game like that.
But wait, he's made a clutch move. He's gone to Napa Auto Parts for the win. They've got batteries, winter-grade oils, antifreeze, and wiper blades built for cold Alberta conditions.
That's a championship play, Tim.
With over 85 Alberta locations, visit your local Napa store today or shop online at napacanada.com. That's Napa know-how.
The Kevin Karius Show, breaking down Edmonton's favorite teams, even though his favorite Junior A hockey team is the Yorkton Terriers. Thanks for checking in with Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program, 827 in Edmonton. Kevin Karius, City Steel with you on Sports 1440 AM radio. We are streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch. Our buddy Jason Strudwick just texted me and said, Laddie was a lot of fun Friday night for that Shoresy game. He's going to have a lot to say about Ben Scribbins. I asked Struds about how the game was. He says, so much fun. It was a lot faster than we expected. Great group of guys. Asked Laddie about when Scribbins took his shirt off. Can't stop. I've seen Scribbins with his shirt off. You know,
Is he dieseled up or is he bagged milk?
He would look like he was. You remember who Bobby Sands was?
Nope.
Bobby Sands was one of the first Irish hunger strikers about 40 to 50 years ago.
Body's eating itself, huh?
Yeah. No, Scribby's, he's a great guy. I love Scribby.
Is Scribby scrawny?
No, he's not as scrawny as I'm making it out to appear. But
don't
he's a
backtrack.
goalie.
Don't backtrack.
He's a goalie,
now.
you know. He's a goalie.
He's widely.
Yeah.
He's widely.
But anyway, we'll probably get those comments on Thursday when Laddie slides in. A lot of texts about even SKS. He's talking about Brute, our buddy SKS. Drakkar Noir for special occasions. Drakkar. I never. There was another one. Who else?
SKS.
Yeah. IMAX is Stetson. That's what Spec would have, Stetson. Or even the Old Spice. Remember the white bottles of Old Spice?
Oh, geez.
Years ago, Eddie, too, and maybe you did it with, I don't know, your dad or an uncle. You used to be able to buy it was soap on a rope and then Old Spice in the white bottle and came in a little pack. And every dad got it for Christmas.
Oh, you know it, man. Yeah, with maybe a loofah or something as well.
Loofah. Oh, man. 833-401-1440. I didn't see this. Rob said, look at the pizza that McCarr gave up last night. The Avs beat Toronto 4-1 last night. I didn't really see that one. Maybe enlighten us on that one, Rob. Also last night in the NHL, Ottawa gives it to Vegas 7-1. And Pittsburgh, what a hell of a road trip. The Penguins come out here and just roll
Cleaned
through
up,
Western
man.
Canada, beat the Vancouver Canucks 3-2. Stu Skinner had a hell of a game at the end of they were under duress, man, when Stu came up with several big saves to keep it 3-2. So
yeah, he did.
Like it. Oh, Dennis, folks don't like Bush, ? Name 4 guys you'd rather have in that spot role. I'll start with McCarr. I leave it to masses because I can't think of the next guy. I mean, he's been really good here. There's no denying that. And I mean, here's the other thing. And as much as I've said that he's up for a Norris, etc., or will be up, like if Bouchard and McCarr are neck and neck here, he'll be in the top 4 vote getters. Having said that, if you were doing the Olympic team, and again, I have Matthew Schaefer in there instead of a Doughty or whoever you're going to take out.
Mm-hmm.
Someone else texted, and I think it was Stair Farmer. He said, since the announcement, Bouchard's +7 and Doughty's -17. That can't be correct. Maybe there was a mistype there. Maybe he's -7 or something like that.
Yeah. And again, Bush is for sure a top 5, top 6 defenseman in the league.
Well, again, when people don't consider him, like there are so many fans in town. If there are Bouchard haters, and that's a simple fact. That is a simple fact. Like, I mean, I'll even take it one step further. If you listen to the guys in the press box, he can make a half dozen plays. No one says anything. If there's a pass that's off,
You
all
hear
of a sudden
the
you hear
rumblings.
Boosh. You hear something. You
Yeah.
hear a whisper down.
Yeah.
On press.
The
row.
rumbling. Yeah. No, I get that. It's interesting because even myself, I really like the player. Hey, look, in Edmonton, I will go on the radio, live radio, and say, I like the player, but there is, I don't want to use the term more, but just defensively is what I desire more. I don't desire the offense out of my defenseman.
Yeah.
Right. And I think I've made that pretty clear. I like the player, though. Am I going to say he's my favorite? No, he's not my favorite. I respect what he's doing. But again, the offense for me isn't what moves the meter out of my defenseman.
There was a couple things that, because we got about 5 minutes before we go to break, CFL that I wanted to discuss because I'm not going to see you on Friday. And now we're coming up to the end of the month here with bonuses, etc. Trey Ford, top of the list, top of mind for the Double E. And there was even still whispers before that a possible contract restructuring could happen. But is it February 1st where he's owed this bonus?
Yeah,
Eddie?
typically it'd be the 1st or mid-month.
So what's the process here? Because it's a week away, technically.
Yeah, it's coming. I wouldn't be surprised if we waited and saw in typical CFL fashion that Trey gets cut the day before his bonus. I don't know why that's the case, that GMs operate that way, but don't be surprised. And then as a fan, you'll be thinking, the bonus is 7 days away, 6 days away, 5 days away. Oh, it's getting closer. Trey must be on the roster. Oh, they're going to keep Trey. All of a sudden, the day before, they'll cut him. And it makes no sense to me. And I love Ed, but that's how these GMs operate, man. It just doesn't make sense to me.
And so the options are, again, so that he can be released. They could restructure his contract. and basically that's about it, right? Because they're not keeping him at what his salary is.
350 plus starter money. And then the reality is there's not going to be much suitors out there because what team is going to trade to have that contract on their roster? Most teams are already secure at that position.
If you're Trey and your brother's here, you've got some resemblance of roots. You know, as you say, he does some house flipping and things like that.
Got properties here.
Is that how much comes into play there? And maybe it's better that he goes, okay, I'll restructure my deal. I'll be the backup. And if something happens, I'm obviously going to be ready to go in here too. So,
yeah, this would be the best situation for him, in my opinion. Familiarity with the starter, being Cody Fajardo, and with the coaching staff as well.
Yeah.
Maximic, his offense. You need 2 QBs in this league. You know that, KK.
Yes, I totally agree with that.
So you have an aging Cody who's the number one. Trey's going to get a look if he's here. Trey will get a look.
So if you're saying this is the best fit for him, where's 2 or 3 like across the league? Is it a Saskatchewan possibly? Like I'm trying to think if I'm Trey Ford and I look across the league and I go, okay, well, Trevor Harris is 39, right? Look what's going on in Winnipeg, maybe some injury, history and things like that.
I would say here, then I would say BC, and I only say BC because they're starting a Canadian at quarterback in Nathan Rourke. So have Trey as a backup.
So then the ratio would be, you're okay with it.
That's the only reason I would say BC. And then number 3, I would say back to the East. So maybe Ottawa. For some reason, I think Ottawa, I feel like that'd be a good place for Trey.
Yeah. What about, again, injury history in Montreal?
Yeah, with Davis Alexander, similar style too, in terms of the athleticism. Jason Moss, really trust him as an O coordinator. You would draw up a good scheme for Trey. I believe that for sure.
BC Lions released linebacker Micah Awe. Is this again bonus related here?
It's money. It's money. They had some young guys come out and perform this past season. So whenever you sign a contract, they're always looking to replace you, KK, younger and cheaper. Now, let's not sweep the elephant under the rug here either. The CFL, they announced that $10 million in profit, and the salary cap's going up. Salary cap's going up to $6+ million. I forget the exact number.
6.28. So 6,280,000.
It's a jump.
The salary.
It's a good jump. So I think I read it's the equivalent of each team getting like $260K extra on their books. Man, that's a few players or one really good player. That's a big jump. It's nice to see that some funds are being increased so guys can go out and earn a little bit more bucks.
Yeah. How do you sweep the elephant under the carpet here?
Well, that was it. That's the big news.
Is that it?
That's the big news. Let's not ignore.
We don't want to sweep the elephant under the carpet.
Let's not ignore it. I guess I was trying to say, I didn't want to say
elephant in the room.
The elephant in the room, but then what's it called? Let's not bury the lead. I was trying to combine it all.
The cap goes up $218,000. So that's a really good player.
Yeah.
That's a really good player. And I'm just looking at the comment from well, first of all, do you like Solomon Aluminium? Is he
I've heard mixed.
Okay.
I've heard mixed. I've heard initially there was strong leadership. Then, we all kind of get warped by the corporate doings. And I've heard he's kind of turned into a yes man. So I've heard mixed reviews on him as the CFLPA president.
What's this mean here too with the expenditure cap, et cetera? And then it also says the CFLPA has allocated an additional $50,000 per club towards preseason compensation.
That's nice
for veteran players.
That's another. I'm glad.
So what is that? That's just
you get paid in camp if you're a vet. So you have to play in so many games to be considered a vet. Like the year before, I think it's 7 games, I believe.
Right.
And then the more years you play, the more money you get. So say you're a second-year guy. You hit that 7 games the year before. Well, come training camp, you're going to get $400 or $500. And then say you're a 4th-year guy. So you're a little more experienced. Well, maybe you might make $600-700 a week during training camp, and this is all weekly checks. So to see that each club is getting $50K more, Well, if you're a vet, you might now fetch over $1,000 a week for training camp, and that's nice because you're not making
walking
anything.
around money.
Yeah, exactly.
Chris says, Eddie, can you not add that bonus as a guarantee in your contract or get it right off the bat opposed to the middle?
With like Trey Ford, for example,
guess that's what he's
yeah.
talking
So
about.
how it would work? Say we'll just use 100K for a nice round number. I signed a 100K deal. I get 10 signing bonus. My base is 70, so now we're at 80K. Okay, sorry. So say I get 30 signing bonus. My base is 70.
Right.
There's the whole 100K. I get that 30 up front. But if it's a 2-year deal, you get an off-season bonus now the next year. You don't get that signing bonus, but it's an off-season bonus. So instead of getting 30 to sign, now you're getting 30 in February because there's already a contract in place. What a lot of teams will do, though, is they'll cut you before paying you that 30 because, again, looking to go younger and cheaper, and they don't want to have to pay those bonuses. So, no, you can't get it in the middle. That's just how it works.
Getcha. Good stuff, Eddie, on the CFL update. I'm sure there'll be some on Elks Nation as well here.
Absolutely.
Boy, Eddie. When we come back, we're going to go in or out with Eddie Steele on the Kevin Karius Show. On Sports 1440 AM radio, we are streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
Weekly NFL giveaways, great specials, huge screen TVs. The hits keep coming at First Round, Edmonton's NFL headquarters. Watch NFL football at First Round, and you could win a trip to your favorite NFL city for a regular season game next season. Catch NFL action Thursday nights, all day Sunday, starting with the Pro Bowl brunch from 10:30 to 2. Then Monday night, with half-price boneless wings after 6 p.m. First Round, burgers, beer, sports. Downtown and Bourbon Street, West Edmonton Mall.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Happy New Year. I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you. Thank you for everything in 2025. With your help and your support, we fed almost 500 families. We donated to various charities in the Edmonton area, and we're going to do it again in 2026. Please stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
Hey, Edmonton, did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $500,000 on Mega Jackpots Ocean Bells? Think about the season tickets you could lock down with that kind of cash. From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions and hundreds of popular games to money that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up for Play Alberta. Download the app today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. When you gamble, use your game sense.
Mr. Rooter goes skiing. Sick gear, Mr. Rooter. Are you ready to hit the slopes?
Not yet. I need to report a possible crime.
Oh no, what's happening?
I saw a bunch of hooligans discussing shredding the half pipe. As a plumber, I've taken the Hippocratic oath to do no harm and act in the best interests of all pipes, whether PVC, copper, or otherwise.
It's made of snow, Mr. Rooter.
Snow? Things are worse than I had feared.
There's no better plumber than Mr. Rooter.
He's a legend in the booth and a master on the mic. Low Tide brings the banter weekdays from noon to 2. Sports 1440 is where Edmonton talks sports. Get in the game. Text 833-401-1440.
Missioner Allen Auctioneering's Calgary, Edmonton, Winnipeg Public Unreserved Heavy Truck Auction is this Thursday at 9 a.m. with Tridem, tandem, and single-axle trucks, including tractors, decks, dumps, plows, man lifts, pickers, refuse trucks, and more. Info at maauctions.com.
Get ready.
We're going to make you an offer you can't refuse.
Shoresy's back, and it's only on Crave.
We need total buy-in from every guy in this room.
The Smash Hit Series returns for a brand new season.
We're going to be playing the EU All-Stars.
Shoresy is facing his toughest competition yet.
This EU team is spectacular.
They are not scared of them.
Hear that, Shoresy?
Let's make sure they never forget who we are.
Shoresy, new season. Stream now, only on Crave. Subscribe at crave.ca.
Missioner Allen Auctioneering's next Calgary, Edmonton, Winnipeg Public Unreserved Industrial Auctions are this Thursday and Friday. These major events include multiple lanes selling a large section of multi-purpose trucks, equipment, and commercial trailers. Info at maauctions.com.
Have your sports curiosity cured with the Kevin Karius Show. This is Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program. Coming up to 8:43 in Edmonton, and time now for Are You In or Out?
Okay, you know what? Moving too fast. Bottom line, are you in or you out? In or out of what? No time for questions, just action. In or out? Well, then I'm out. I'm sorry, Jet. Actually, you're already in.
Are you in or are you out?
On Sports 1440.
I thought you would go, I'm in, Bob. We would have had a really cool moment, but you kind of ruined the whole thing.
Letterbuck.
The Edmonton Oilers, big win Saturday night, 6-5 in overtime over the Capitals. Evan Bouchard making headlines with 6 points in the contest, one of his, if not the strongest outing of the season. McConnor McDavid also at 5 points, is now up to 90 in just 53 games played on the season. Little prediction here for the upcoming week. I think he will hit the century mark 100 for what will be the 9th time in his career by the time the calendar rolls over to February 1st, Sunday.
Before everyone freaks out again tonight, it's on Prime, I believe, correct?
Correct.
Because you know how many people
I know, every time Monday.
Here's the thing. Apart from the people who just don't have the subscription, what's the big issue?
Well, because they don't have the subscription. That's the issue right
but
there.
But outside of that,
And oftentimes people want to get their fix of Jackie. They don't get their Jack Michaels.
Jack making a lot of waves on socials for the Saturday night calls of both the
riveting action.
The last like 90 seconds of the game, essentially to get the tying marker, and then of course the overtime winner. There's lots of Instagram, TikTok accounts that kind of do not parodies, but almost like
give us one, Duke.
Well, no, it's like they use the original sound, then they like do like a reenactment of what they think he would look like in the booth calling it, and they're very popular, lots of following, and Jack is one of their favorite.
Come on, Duke, give us one.
Broadcasters.
Give us one, Duke. You call hockey. Give us one.
Have...
Give us an overtime game winner call, Duke. Come on.
That ain't me. If Kevin does it, I'll do it.
Let's get on to question number 1 here.
Very good.
What you got? You got an answer?
Well, no.
He already asked us.
I just said he's going to hit 100 points by the time we get to February 1st. Are you in or you out?
You in or out, KK?
What are we talking about here?
I'm in. How many games until February 1st?
3. So
3?
The Oilers will play the Ducks tonight, the Sharks on Thursday, and then Saturday night to wrap up the month.
He's at
against
90.
Minnesota.
Got to get 10 points, 3 games. Oh, boy. I'm out. That's tough.
That is tough. Well, I mean, yeah, I'm going to be out too. That's a lot to ask for, man. I could see, you know what, Duke, if you added that one more game if you would have said the homestand, because they got one more game.
So one more game you'd be in.
But then he just got 5. So it's like, you're right. There's the argument.
Well, Duke thinks tonight's going to be a 6-5 game.
Without actually pulling up any numbers, just from having watched all the games, I know that Connor and Leon have very good numbers against Anaheim in their careers. And the Sharks, they're a team on the rise for sure, but they still give up a fair amount. Minnesota will be tough. They're a very stingy team. They've already shut down the Oilers pretty decently a couple times this year. The one for sure. I thought they've already played twice, but besides the point, I think it's very much in the realm of possibility.
Connor has 12 goals, 27 assists in the last 16 games against Anaheim.
Is that good?
Leon has 17 goals and 16 assists in the last 16 games against Anaheim.
Point getters.
Not bad. Not too bad. Which does roll into question number 2 with the homestand continuing against the Ducks. Hottest team in hockey, 7 straight victories. But I think we should be expecting a high scoring, not too dissimilar from Saturday night's result. Track meet style game, back and forth action, chances at both sides, which in turn opens the door for Connor to have potentially maybe 3 or 4 points on the evening.
You know what, Duke? Every time it's going to be high scoring, high flying, it's the exact opposite.
Wrong.
Okay, we'll see. I'll go more of like a 3-2 game tonight. So
you think
I'm going to be out on this one.
I don't think so.
I'll say the Ducks sort of just kind of clamp it down here a little bit.
Dostal played last night for the win in Calgary, so it's going to be backup. Ville Husso in for Anaheim. His numbers are far from sterling. They're okay for a backup goalie, and we've seen the Oilers give up, handful of goals in back-to-back games. I think it will be back and forth, and it's the way the Ducks play. They give up a ton of chances. The difference is when Dostal's playing, he often bails them out. He's one of the best high danger goalies in the league. The other times, not so much.
So you think it's the Ducks, KK, that clamp it down and not the Oilers?
I think
Because the Oilers don't got it in their game.
Just a back-to-back, I think.
Oilers can't help themselves, man. If there's some goals being put up, they have to run and gun. It's in their nature. They just can't help themselves.
Number 3, over to the Gridiron Conference Championship weekend. It did not disappoint. In the AFC to start things off, the Patriots win 10-7 over the top-seeded Broncos in what was a snowy weather-type game from Mile High. And I'll be honest, people clamoring, jumping out. I know Kurt Warner in the past has said that every stadium in the NFL should be domed. We shouldn't let things like the conditions affect the outcome of a football game. Couldn't disagree more. I think the volatility of weather and what can happen over the course of a game in different buildings, different environments is part of what makes football fun.
I'm in
too.
And of course it's a quarterback saying that. Get out of here, Kurt Warner. Of course you want it to be perfect conditions. If I'm not mistaken, he wore 2 gloves and played with gloves on.
Not all the time, but when he was in Arizona, when he went to the Super Bowl with Arizona, he was a 2-glove guy.
That's pretty savage, man. 2-glove quarterback.
Petty 2 gloves.
Yeah. I'm in, man. I love the weather. It is part of football. You're not going to have perfect conditions. And part of the process is learning how to battle through the adversity and to execute.
Who had the last pick to seal
Gonzalez?
Okay. So look at how he played that compared to the receiver. Looked good. Like he looked like, okay, I'm prepared for what's coming here. Receivers like out in no man's land.
No, just still trying to run his route like normal.
Yeah. Like double thinking more about your footing than actually being aware of where the ball is. I will admit, the second half of that game, and listen, the first half of the weather was fine. It's not exactly like they were lighting the world on fire. It was 1 score apiece. But the second half of the game essentially made it, they couldn't play borderline, right? Like nothing was happening. The kicks were in futility. Of course, the Broncos' final attempt got blocked or partially blocked. And going back to one of your guys' earlier conversations about like in the first half and whatever that was, the third possession for the Broncos, the chance to kick the field goal. You absolutely know what is coming down the line weather-wise. And some point in the second half of this game, things are going to turn really ugly. You have one of the best defenses in the league. I can't believe that Peyton would not take the points to go up 2 scores
with
your backup quarterback, right?
It makes sense.
That really, really flabbergasted me. And then, of course, we get the Stidham fumble and the controversy around that. Almost shades of the Tuck rule back in the day. So I love it. The snowball effect. It's great. I don't want to see it go anytime soon, even with a lot of trends towards new stadiums all getting built with roofs on them.
There's something to be said, too, for the ultimate professional game in the NFL that we're so used to seeing when it turns into some schoolyard ball because of the weather. It's kind of neat, It's really neat to see the elements.
Over in the NFC, the Seattle Seahawks headed back to the Super Bowl. They beat the Rams in what was a much more entertaining contest on the second half of the slate. Seahawks open as 4.5-point favorites against New England in the Super Bowl. Based on what we've seen through these playoffs so far, I think that's too low of a spread. I think they should be favored by more.
I'm going to be out.
I'm in.
You're in?
Yeah, I'm in on that.
What would you guys post it at then? What would it be?
6.
Yeah.
6? Yeah.
Maybe 6.5.
I think 4.5. That's a 5-point spread, essentially. That's pretty fair in my guess.
Look at New England, they beat what? They beat the Chargers with
what New England has done is
defensive
impressive
line.
because the teams they beat have all have really good defenses. But the offense hasn't looked that good.
No.
It's the defense for the Patriots that has really shone through, but the offenses they beat have been a Chargers team with no offensive line, a Texans team where CJ Stroud essentially had his head on backwards for the entire game, and then a Broncos team which never and you can say the same for the Texans, has not had the most prolific offense at any point this year, and the Broncos are trotting out a backup quarterback that hasn't played in 2 years. So you give the Patriots credit for what they've done without a doubt. They're playing the Super Bowl. They've earned it. But I'm just like, compared to what I see from the Seahawks in these games against the Rams, the Niners, it's not even close for me.
I think this line's going to change here to 5.5 in the next few days, and then we'll take it from there. I think you're going to see it move here quicker.
Man, you guys sound like the mainstream. I'm riding with the Patriots. Everybody's writing them off. It's going to be a mucky game. Watch, fellas. I'm riding with the Patriots now.
Come on now.
Okay. Come on now. $20. 20
Come on.
bucks.
Oh, geez, look at
20
this
bucks,
now.
20
Look at
bucks.
On the
this.
points?
No,
No,
man.
just straight
We're
up.
Straight up.
I'll take the 20 off you. then.
I'll yeah.
You want to so 20?
All three of us. So now Eddie's gonna be
Nah,
on
look
60.
at this. Look at this guy looking for some charity. Benny putting his hand up like he's a part of this. Benny, come on now. Yeah, man. Just because this pro ball, man, you can't count these guys out with the coach that they have, and their roster is not farly worse than Seattle's. Like they have a good roster still. Okay, baby. Okay.
Just don't throw the ball on whatever at the
I can't wait to
goal
see
line.
it.
Right? Don't throw the ball at the goal line.
I think Vrabel's a great coach, and everything you've said about him over the course of the morning, Eddie, is absolutely true. But it's also like, what are we doing? Just completely discounting what Mike McDonald. Like, to me, he's the coach of the year.
Is Drake
in the
May
NFL.
not the front runner for MVP with Matt Stafford?
Yeah.
Is it not those two?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Don't forget, this is an MVP quarterback we're talking
Drake May
about
threw
now.
for 86 yards
That's
yesterday.
Look at the weather yesterday. Are you
So
kidding?
even
We're
Jared Stidham threw for more than that.
It's going to be an indoor on turf. This guy's up for MVP just because he had a bad playoff game. He's still up for MVP. He's competent now.
Okay.
I'm not so sure. Finally,
Are we on for these bets?
Yeah, of course we are.
So 60 bone.
No, I don't know. 60. What
he's
do you-
not,
Oh,
he's,
so
he's,
40.
he's not
Who's this
taking on
guy?
Josh as a charity case
No,
option here,
no.
which is too bad.
This guy just puts all I
Tell you
saw.
what, Josh, when I win, I'll split it with you.
I'll set the line at 6.5.
I just saw a hand come over the computer. What? No way, Finn.
Oh my god.
What a disaster.
We're in the final week of January, and it is a National Hobby Month. We've talked a lot about different hobbies a person can pick up in their adult years, maybe to keep themselves entertained. Kevin is an avid gardener. Eddie,
He's an avid
of course,
canner.
is a prolific woodworker and
There's so many hobbies.
IKEA furniture builder. As we
Golfer.
just learned to respect. Golfer, of course.
Scratch golfer.
The adult hobby that is very popular, and I just can't quite wrap my head around. It's tough to understand for me. Is card collecting. I really just don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get the appeal.
Hey, don't let that other morning show hear you now.
It's just like, and people, everybody can like what they like. That's perfectly fine. But most of the time, even video games, it's something I have no real interest in. I haven't played them since I was 21 years old. And if you want to do that, that's great. But I can see the appeal. Card collecting, I just can't wrap my head around it.
I'm in.
Slots is going to get you, dude.
I know Slots is big into this, but that doesn't mean that it's changed my opinion just because I know somebody that likes it.
I used to have a couple of like prize cards that were neat, like
Yeah.
of some of my heroes, but collecting, having a binder of just a bunch of different cards, I never
Like
got
that's what
into
I did
that.
when I was a kid. You get your packs and you pull your favorite players out and you tuck them in the little slots in your big binder and all the sheets. But then at a certain point, I get they have value, like financial value, but to get one of any real monetary value, like how many are you going through? How many packs are you opening and these mystery boxes? And I suppose if I were to like try and see it, it's almost like a little bit like gambling, right? Because you're buying these packs with no idea what's inside and hoping that you hit the jackpot essentially. But that's more of like a game of chance as opposed to sports gambling where it is you at least are trying to make an educated guess.
Everybody gets their rocks off differently.
100%.
You know, because it doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't float my boat, you know, opening cards and doesn't excite me. But yeah, hey, working out, lifting weights doesn't excite
Did you
people.
have cards as a kid?
Like I said, I didn't collect, but I would get
bought.
like my favorite guys, like a couple of basketball players. I keep them, right? I maybe had like 5 cards growing up. Yeah. They were just my heroes.
You put them in the spokes of your bike, though, didn't you, Eddie?
We used to tin cans and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the same too. I don't understand it for an older person. I think if you're a kid, but maybe that's, like I've never even asked Slots about it. Like, I mean, what kind of collection he has or something like that. I'm sure it's quite extensive.
But it's unique because I look at you, for example, and I don't understand spending hours in a garden. And you don't understand me wanting to work out every day. It's wild how everybody's got their cup of tea because that's what brings you your joy. You spend hours gardening.
Not hours.
In the summer, you do. You brag about it, and I'm not hating. That's a good thing, man. It's what brings you joy.
There's times when you're in there, but I mean, that's planting.
And I don't like that. That doesn't excite me.
Yeah.
Everybody's got their something, man.
I know. Well,
That's in cards. Yeah. Doesn't do it for me.
Some people are avid, assemblers of bathroom cabinets.
Wayfair.
And I felt like we kind of breezed over that during it. Eddie, when you're saying you leave the IKEA furniture building to your wife.
Yeah, we know our rules.
So that's perfectly fine if Steph is, more capable. But then you to say, I prefer physical labor over mental labor, as if building an IKEA piece of furniture is some sort of, touring test.
Mental gymnastics, bro.
Yeah, okay. Come on now.
Yeah.
Look at Ben.
Mental
Ben Dangles.
gymnastics.
Well, a garden brings self-sustainability in food, though, Eddie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
but we're not talking about that. We're talking about the work and the joy that it's a hobby for you, right? Like you'll choose to go out and spend a couple hours in the sunshine outside.
Well, and that's the thing. If it were indoors, I wouldn't do it. If it was in a greenhouse, I'd say I'm not interested.
Mm-hmm. Like I choose to go work out, almost.
You make it sound like I'm not working out, Eddie.
No, that's not it at all. I'm just
he's
thinking
running tarps off around Laurier
thinking
Heights.
of our hobbies that we do.
Man.
Thinking of our pastimes that we do.
I still got to build Duke's coffee table for him yet.
And I'm not personally building this, but it's I've had several snags in production for Kevin's Christmas present. I'm hoping to have it when he returns. Well, I really hope I'll have it when he returns from his holiday.
Well,
Duke, at
once
this
the
point,
football season's over now, Sundays, I can get in there, and this is a big project, Duke.
Well, I believe it, and it's
Just save it for
why
next
don't you
year.
come over and help Eddie?
Oh, easy. I got woodworking skills. You should see some of the pieces of furniture I have at home from high school wood class. I have some money pieces.
I
do.
I built a really nice Muskoka chair in high school.
Really good craftsmanship, man. Really good craftsmanship.
That was the wood shop was the last credit Eddie needed just to graduate to make sure he got into.
No, it
U
was
of M.
actually I always took woods just as one of my optionals. I liked it. I had a lot of fun with it.
So what piece of furniture did you make here?
It's a nice end table. It's all what would it be? I want to say sculpted up, but where you put the block on the thing where it spins.
The lathe.
Yeah.
Lathe?
Yeah. So it's all like ribboned and it's really nice textured.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really, really nice actually.
You have a lathe in your garage, Kev?
No, I had one, but I
was gonna say I'd love to get that footage of sending Eddie over there now. How many years later? See if he
Just the
can still
chips
see if he
just
can
flying.
see if he can still spin them.
Oh,
Spin
yeah,
them with the
man.
best of them.
I did have one, but it wasn't like a real high end one,
Right.
and it just wore out. I could hear it like kind of wheezing and whining, and then the smell of the motor burning.
Oh man,
I was
yeah.
like, all right, this thing ain't gonna
That
last
burns
much
my
longer.
garage
on fire.
Yeah, it ain't last much longer.
Start smoking a bit.
Yeah.
So I got a couple pieces, KK.
Okay.
A fella can cut some wood.
Spindle.
Get me on that surface planer.
So, okay, if you come over and help make this coffee table for Duke, what tool is your strongest point? Like your strongest tool to work with?
Probably the sledgehammer for destroying things.
I need you to be on the router and probably the planer as well.
You got a
I don't have
scroll saw?
What?
Scroll saw?
Scroll saw.
Yeah.
No.
That could
Do
do
you even know what a scroll
I
saw
could do
is?
some work with the scroll saw.
What is a scroll saw? Tell me.
That's the big one on the band. Vertically.
Wasn't that a bandsaw?
Is that it?
Isn't
Is
a
that
scroll, correct me if a scroll saw is like the one where like the blade is almost like a razor blade and it's just really tiny.
Oh
Or very-
yeah, you're right. Yeah, I'm thinking of the
and then
bandsaw.
bandsaw is
Yeah,
the
I
giant,
got it
like you
mixed
said,
up.
big vertical.
Yeah, the vertical one. That's what I was thinking of. Boy, you had to be careful with that in Woods class. Man,
Table saw was the real.
table saw
real
sketchy
danger.
too with the kickback.
And then because
The
then if,
kickback.
and also if you did something wrong and then the safety feature that would automatically
Bind
drive
up.
the blade down into the piece of metal, then all of a sudden you're on the hook for a pretty big fine.
Woods class. We used to have a lot of fun there.
Oh man.
Bringing back memories, Duke. Probably one of the only classes I got passing grades too.
Todd the Sign God says, I can just see KK and Eddie, tarps off with the lathe running like a scene out of Ghost with Patrick Swayze.
Hey, KK, hand me that 2x4.
Yeah.
Just an assembly line, me and you tarps off in your garage.
Why not? Well, then again, 2 hours, like just
always fast
as hell, Eddie. Fast as
That's
hell.
why they call me Fast Eddie.
Fast Eddie. Eddie Spaghetti with the meatball eyes. What's on the go here? You're going over to
Going
Declan?
downtown, yeah. Gonna do Elks Nation. Lots to talk about in terms of the news that we kind of touched on
with Trey and everything else.
Exactly, Trey and the financials of the league. It's in a good place. The league is not dying, Kevin. The league is not dying. Now let's see if these new rules will help generate more fans like they talk about. We'll see.
Well, that's not going to happen.
No, we'll see though.
I hope that the Double E attendance can increase, and the games are on the right days, right times. So
it's exciting times.
It is. Good show, Eddie.
You too.
Hey, and I'm off Friday. Somehow, I don't know what happened.
Where are you?
We're just off on Friday, and then
where you head? You going back home or what?
No, and then a couple days next week I won't be around either.
You're just taking a PD day, huh?
No, I'm taking a week off and a day.
Oh, so you're going on next week?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, you're going Mexico.
Yeah, so we're gonna go down and
I've
got a nice round of golf. Couple that are going to be lined up down there.
Jeez.
Yeah.
You had to give up your left for that?
Well,
Golf's expensive down there.
It is, yeah. But I mean, if you're down there, you might as well enjoy
It's
yourself.
not. It's lush.
Oh.
It's not good shooting out of there, eh?
Well,
those fairways are thick.
Hopefully, a guy can crack 85, eh?
Oh, Kevin, there's no hope.
Oh, there will.
You're
be.
just going to have fun.
Oh, no.
You're just going.
Well, the problem is, I think the round includes booze and food.
Oh, you're toast.
So
you're toast. You're toast. The first 2 holes, you'll take it seriously. Then
no way, man.
It's a wrap.
It's a nice course.
You're just trying to keep your head down, okay?
I will. Well, we'll see you in a little bit, Eddie. Thanks,
Alrighty.
buddy. Good show. Eddie Steele, Grey Cup champion from 2015. Coming up in the 9 o'clock hour, we got David Amber from Hockey Night in Canada. He'll be with us at 9:20. At 10 o'clock, Luke Easterling from Athlon Sports covers the NFL. And then Zach Kavanaugh from the Sporting Tribune will preview tonight Ducks and Oilers game at Rogers Place. Before that time now, for a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Sean Cunningham of Remax Real Estate. Get the home team advantage for your next move in the Edmonton area. If you're thinking about buying or selling a home, call or text Sean directly. 780-265-0165. Here is the Duke.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
6-game slate in the NHL yesterday. Avalanche beat the Maple Leafs 4-1. Kraken double up the Devils 4-2. Golden Knights lose in Ottawa 7-1. Penguins get past the Canucks 3-2. Panthers beat the Blackhawks 5-1. And the Ducks come back to beat the Flames 4-3 in overtime. Beckett Seneca with a hat trick in the victory. Pair of games in the PWHL. Minnesota topping New York 6-2. And Vancouver beat Seattle 3-1. Oil Kings in action from Rogers Place yesterday afternoon. They beat the Blades 5-1. And Championship Sunday in the NFL, the Patriots win a snow flurry-filled affair 10-7 over the Broncos to head back to the Super Bowl for the first time in the post-Tom Brady era. And in the NFC, the Seahawks beat the Rams 31-27. Sam Darnold with 3 touchdowns in the victory. In the association, Toronto Raptors with a win in Oklahoma City last night, 103-101. Elsewhere, Golden State beat Minnesota 111-85. Suns fall to the Heat 111-102 in the nightcap game. Clippers get past Brooklyn 126-89. From the Scotties Tournament of Hearts in Ontario this morning's draw, Canada and Kerry Anderson taking on Quebec, Yukon playing BC, Saskatchewan up against Northwest Territories, and Nova Scotia taking on Caitlin Laws and her Manitoba Ring. Coming up in hour 3 of the Kevin Karius Show, we'll be joined by David Amber from Hockey Night in Canada. I'm Brandon Douglas at your Sports 1440 update.
This is Sports 1440,
A Stingray radio station.
broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
The new double cheesy melt at McDonald's. We're talking 2 juicy, mouth-watering 100% Canadian beef patties, 2 slices of cheesy goodness, with even more melty, cheesy sauce on top. Topped with pickles, then crispy and grilled onions. The way it all comes together, you don't just eat it, you melt into it. The double cheesy melt, only at McDonald's. For a limited time only at participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
This is Andrew Walker, host of the postgame show on Sports 1440. After every hockey game this season, tune in and chime in as we talk about the game. It's all sponsored by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Don't get left in the cold. Visit legacyheating.ca.
Do you sit around at work listening to sports radio all day? That's right, my friend. There's no shame in it. It's the good life. And we're not here to snitch. Say, if your company advertised on Sports 1440, you could be the one listening for your company's ad every day. Now you've got an excuse to listen to Sports 1440 all day. It's part of the job. Sounds like someone's getting a promotion. Email Gregor at sports1440.ca and let's get to work for you.
They're not just a grocery store. They're a butcher, a baker, a cafe, deli, rotisserie pizza, and restaurant, all under one roof. Loca Quality Market does food differently with 2 locations to serve you. Edmonton and Sherwood Park. Visit loca.ca.
Remember 2025? That's so last year. But seriously, St. Albert Dodge needs to clear some 2025 models off the lot to make room for new inventory. So they're having a huge clear out of all the remaining new 2025 Jeep Wrangler Saharas. The Sahara package is the best seller, so they have a great selection to choose from and priced from as low as $59.9. I don't have to tell you, these are going to go fast. So get there before they are gone. Just head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Loca Quality Market. Your next dinner is ready with Loca Quality Market's gourmet meals. Choose from over 200 chef-prepared meals. Shop local at loca.ca.
Have your sports curiosity cured with the Kevin Karius Show. This is Sports 1440.
To the big program, 9:10 in Edmonton. We've got David Amber from Hockey Night in Canada, Rogers Sportsnet arriving around 9:20 to discuss things around the NHL, Leafs, and everything else in the big smoke. The Edmonton Oilers have made a roster move. They've called up Josh Szymanski from Bakersfield and sent Ike Howard down to Baco. So some news there. Szymanski's been a pretty good two-way center. He's been putting up numbers. He's a big, strong guy. He's got 7 goals, 21 assists in 39 games played for the Bakersfield Condors. And a lot of that is, probably 5-on-5 play. But this is something where he's going to get a little look here. And Ike Howard is sent down to Bakersfield, and Szymanski's up. So he's born in Germany. His dad, John, played in Bowling Green. He's a Canadian. His dad's Canadian, born in Oshawa, I think. And then he went down and played at Bowling Green for 3-4 years before going to Germany. And Szymanski was born in Germany in 2002. So if you're looking kind of how, the name and German and everything else like that, but this is a guy that actually came over and played some junior A hockey and OHL hockey, but then went back to Germany because obviously he would be considered a non-import type of player. He was signed by the Oilers after playing in Germany for 3-4 years, and he was signed by the Oilers just in April of 2025. So this is a guy that is obviously under the radar when it came to the draft and everything like that. Undrafted player. He's 6'2", a couple of 100 pounds. Really good numbers when he played in the Dell in Germany with the Straubing, the Tigers, and then came over here because, this is almost, a very similar situation where the Oilers went with David Tomashek. Similar, but obviously Szymanski's younger than what Tomashek was. So he's got that going for him. But it's a similar situation where when you have a team and you don't have draft picks and you have to find players to stock the cupboard wherever it is, mostly in Baco, you gotta find players that are wherever they are. And this is another situation. So similar yet different between Szymanski and Tomaszek. But he's going to get a look here. They're going to give him a run, give him a test drive. He had, again, 7 goals, 21 assists, and 28 points for Baco this year. What do you think here, Duke? Do you like this? I mean, Ike Howard, again, if you look at where his game was, and he put up really good numbers when he went down to Baco, came back up here and had that uptick again, but has fallen back. I was saying last week, you saw him cheating on a few plays to try to create offense. He's still trying to find his way. So it's going to be interesting. I want to see what the Szymanski's all about. Like at this level, we saw him in preseason and stuff like that.
It's an opportunity and a promotion, obviously, and one that he's earned with how he's performed down in Bakersfield. And we've kind of seen that early in the season when Ike Howard got recalled and Quinn Hudson came up and played a couple games. Even Connor Clattenburg going back to earlier in the season before he unfortunately got injured. So it kind of shows, I guess, that at least your efforts for the minor league team are not going unnoticed. I suppose is maybe the simplest way to put it. But curiosity. I mean, we said this is our first real look at this player at this level, and should be curious to see how he fares.
Yeah, again, his dad, John, played NCAA hockey for Bowling Green, then moved over to Europe, and he actually played about 10 years, I think. I'm just going to check on that 100%. Was at Bowling Green till the 84 season, played a little bit in the I, and then played, way more. So he started in Stuttgart in 86, 87, and wrapped up his career in 01. Some time in between where he didn't play as well. But, a good dozen years for sure, playing in the German league, would be Division II for a few seasons. Very gifted scorer, his dad was. So had a good year at Bowling Green, too. Back in 83, 84, put up 25 goals, 60 points, his dad did for Bowling Green back in the day. Gary Galley was on that team. Dave Ellen was on that team. So
there you go.
Yeah. And a good team.
Fun little tie-in.
Yeah, for sure. So the Oilers make that one roster move. They'll have a morning skate today ahead of the 6:30 puck drop for the Oilers and the Anaheim Ducks. Once again, the Ducks win last night. They defeat Calgary 4-3 in overtime. Beckett Seneca had 3 goals, including the overtime winner. 7 wins in a row for the Ducks. They are flying high. Just to point back, the Oilers in the Pacific Division standings where things are airtight. Vegas was in Ottawa last night. Ottawa beat the Vegas Golden Knights 7-1. So that was, obviously they give the Knights the golden business. So right now things are really tight when it comes to the top 3 teams in the Pacific Division. And then when you think about it, really San Jose's not far behind. Kings, for that matter, not far behind out of the top 3 as well. When we come back, we got David Amber from Hockey Night in Canada and Rogers Sportsnet. He'll be with us right after the break on the Kevin Karius Show with the Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick, and Mac the Intern on Sports 1440 AM radio. We are streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Happy New Year. I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you. Thank you for everything in 2025. With your help and your support, we fed almost 500 families. We donated to various charities in the Edmonton area, and we're going to do it again in 2026. Please stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at EdmontonExpoCenter.com today.
This hockey season, before every game, check out the pregame show with Andrew Walker on Sports 1440. It's brought to you by Titan Supply, your only source for rigging, lifting, and hauling products. Visit titansupply.ca.
Seriously, another door knocker? I really want to go solar, but these high-pressure tactics are exhausting.
And their prices are unbelievable. Before we do anything, let's call Great Canadian Solar.
There's a better way to go solar. Great Canadian Solar provides honest advice and fair pricing to save you from overpaying. They're easy to deal with and will never put pressure on you to buy. As a trusted local business for over 15 years, Great Canadian Solar will support you in your solar journey. Visit greatcanadiansolar.com and call today to get started.
Legacy Heating and Cooling sucks. Yeah, Legacy can now suck your ducts with professional duct cleaning, furnace cleaning, and dryer vent cleaning.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
When you need the filth sucked from your air ducts.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
When you want cleaner air for your family.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Legacy now offers air duct cleaning. Book in today. Just call Legacy.
Reason number 37 why Nissan is built for our winter. Because winter adventures should never mean compromise. Kick's standard heated front seats and available all-wheel drive help keep you warm and confident. That's winter ready. Now, lease a 2026 Kicks S all-wheel drive for $398 monthly at 2.9%. Visit your local Nissan dealer today or nissan.ca for more details. Lease term for 60 months with zero down. Conditions apply.
Visit your local Edmonton and area Nissan dealer for more information.
Across rural Alberta, volunteers and community groups work hard to make life better for their neighbors, creating new playgrounds, better rinks, and gathering places that bring us together. Vision Credit Union is proud to lend these local heroes a helping hand. Apply today for a Helping Hand grant up to $10,000 to support your community's next big idea. Let's make great things happen together. Applications are open until January 31st, 2026. Learn more at whatsyourshare.ca.
Just in time for the morning skate. This is the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program. 9:20 in Edmonton, and time now for the headliner of the day, brought to you by Mr. Rooter Plumbing. The plumber to call when the toilet mysteriously breaks after your jalapeno pepper popper fueled game night with the fellas. That's mrrooter.ca. As we welcome back David Amber from Hockey Night in Canada, Rogers Sportsnet. Good morning, Super Dave. Thanks for jumping on the Kevin Karius Show as always. Really appreciate it.
Kev, how you doing, man? It's a mess out here. I don't know if the news has made its way west, but it's not even. I know we usually have like an inch of snow, and everyone makes fun of us in Toronto, and we're a bunch of we're soft and everything else. But this is legit, like 5 feet of snow. I was walking I'm telling you, it's just piling up everywhere. Cars buried, and it's quite a scene out here. So this is one of those times I wish I was in Edmonton, because it's probably balmy compared to what it's like in Toronto right now.
Well, it's going to be nice by the end of the week, Dave, and it's going to be like +3, +4. So, I'm just looking at some pictures right now as soon as you said it, like schools closed, subway disruptions. Toronto's digging out here, man.
Yeah, it's a bit of a scene out here. I can't lie. There's a lot of snow. It's like polar vortex cold. It's winter in Canada. What am I complaining about? I guess we are soft out here, and I'm just exemplifying that right now with this conversation.
Well, I don't think you're exaggerating at all. I'm just looking. It says 46 centimeters of snow recorded at the airport eclipsed the previous single-day record of 36 centimeters back in 1966.
Yeah. So anyways, it's a bit of a mess out here, but I guess it's perfect. It's hockey weather, if nothing else, and it's freezing cold here. The Leafs are freezing cold, so I guess it makes a lot of sense. Never mind. The Duke said that you're expecting a furniture delivery. Are they going to be able to get that done? They've called and canceled already. So I've got all the time in the world. They said no trucks can make it out today. So there's another casualty from the snowstorm. There you go. Well, and, our co-host on Mondays is Eddie Steele, and I know you know Eddie, a great football player. Apparently, Eddie was a master craftsman when it comes to furniture building in his high school days. So maybe he can help you out. Just zip out there. He could build you whatever you need, Dave. Well, get him in the car. You won't be able to fly out here, apparently. So get him in the car to drive out here ASAP, please. Yeah, no kidding. David Amber from Hockey Night in Canada with us on the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440. Well, you said it. The Leafs they're cold. They lose 4-1 yesterday to Colorado. Just what do you think of that game, Dave, in the sense that the Avs give it to them pretty good? Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm more flabbergasted. Listen, the Avs going and beating any team there's nothing to be, upset about that, or you can understand that they've been that good, that consistent. They were coming off a 7-3 loss to Philadelphia, and that alarmed them. And in their last sort of 6-7 game stretch, the Avs haven't been particularly good, and they were making a point of like, this needs to stop now. So they came in with some incentive. What is bothering me, or what's troubling, people in Toronto following the team, is what happened on Friday when Mitch Marner returned, when it was supposed to be this, all right, we're going to play our best game, and, it's important to the team. They had just lost a week previously in Vegas in dramatic fashion, blowing a 5-3 lead with 6 minutes left. So it's been sort of a rapid decline in the last 10 days for the Leafs, starting with that loss to Vegas in Vegas. And, they just were so asleep at the start of that game versus Vegas, and they were badly outplayed in the first period versus Colorado. And they've dug themselves into a pretty, significant hole in the Eastern Conference now.
Was that response on Friday night with Marner returning to Toronto, was that kind of what you expected, David?
Yeah, some mixed emotions. Listen, I think, what do people want in most Canadian hockey markets? I think they just want to see the guys try their best, work their hardest. Mitch Marner was never accused of not wanting to win, not trying to win, much in the same vein as Doug Gilmour, Wendell Clark, Matt Sundin. With all the other contract disputes and feeling underappreciated and all of that sort of stuff that rubbed a lot of the fan base wrong. Yeah. So I think some of the fans were just like, this guy, isn't appreciative of his time as a Maple Leaf, and this guy hasn't, necessarily wore the sweater with as much pride as we would have liked. And a lot of people were like, yeah, but he always worked his butt off. He always, was there in practice, there at the games. He was very durable. He was a superstar player. I think a lot of people were just upset that it could have gone down. He could have gone down as sort of the greatest locally born Toronto Maple Leaf of all time. He really should have, right? And that just didn't happen. And it just seems like a guy who should have been on cloud nine, on top of the world, wasn't happy, and that just rubbed some people the wrong way. So I expected a mixed emotions, but at the end of the day, it was much ado about nothing. There was a smattering of boos, a smattering of applause. Vegas came in and really kicked Toronto's tail and walked out. And the bigger story to me is, where does that leave the Maple Leafs? The Leafs have the longest streak of consecutive playoff appearances with 9 in the entire NHL, and that's in significant jeopardy at this point. Yeah.
William Nylander apologized for kind of flipping the bird there. Is it sort of been blown out of proportion? It's something that he wishes he didn't do, but a lot of talk about it today, I guess. Yeah,
I don't know if it's blown out of proportion. It's a dumb thing to do. Yeah. I don't know what motivated it, and is everyone so offended? No, I don't think people are overly offended, but it's just like, shows sort of maybe a lack of maturity at a time when the team's reeling right now, and they're probably relying on their veteran group of players to sort of pull them out of this. And there's a guy sitting there, last time he was in the press box, he's wearing a tank top, and that caught a lot of criticism. Like, we get it. You don't have to wear suits, but, it's not casual Fridays in shorts and a t-shirt either. So, to have a level of professionalism. And I guess last night sort of was another example of, just, no one's asking a lot of you. Just be professional, and flipping the bird at the camera on live TV is probably not what's expected. I'm sure the organization talked to him about it.
Yeah, exactly. How long till he's back into the lineup here, Dave?
That's a great question. There's two parts to that. There's one, the Maple Leafs need him. He's missed 12 or 13 games total this year, and he still is the Leafs' leading scorer. Think about that. That's how good he's been when he's played. That's part of the equation, and the Leafs only have 5 games left before the Olympic break. And then what about Team Sweden? I'm sure the GM of Team Sweden is sitting there saying, is this guy going to be healthy? It's going to be really an interesting conversation if somehow he were to miss the next 5 games, but be magically ready to play for Sweden at the Olympics. I think teams are talking to players, and there's a number of them, not just Nylander. There's a whole slew of them out there, Landeskog, Devin Taves, Braden Point, obviously. It's like, if you're healthy enough to represent your country, then you should be healthy enough, a few days earlier than that to represent the team that's paying your salary. So I don't have a timeline. He was out there, I guess, skating a couple of days ago. So that is a good sign. And, obviously the Leafs need him because he's a massive threat for them on the ice. And And right now they've looked a little listless at times.
David Amber with us on Sports 1440. I got one more Leafs question before we move over to the Ottawa Senators. Has John Tavares been the most consistent, best Leaf this year? What are your thoughts there, Dave?
Well, he started out incredibly strong. The first 20 games for John Tavares, he was sensational. He also scored that milestone 500th goal. He slowed down a bit, like a lot of the team. This has been a tough stretch. And for the older players, I don't mean for the Leafs, I mean for all the players, right? Like we're talking every team seems to have 8 games in 16 nights or, every other night or a bunch of back-to-backs. This compressed schedule is taking its toll on some players. And I would say someone of his age, it's taken its toll on him a little bit. I think the Olympic break will serve him as well as any player. He's incredibly dedicated to the game. He works so hard. He's not just going to sit on a beach for 3 weeks. He's going to go and he's going to, rest, let his body rest, but he's also going to work on some things. And I expect him to come out of the gates, flying when the season resumes. He's been pretty consistent. And again, he's not burdened with the contract of you make $11 million. So the expectations have changed as well. And people appreciate that, unlike Marner, where they just couldn't come to a proper agreement for a contract, John Tavares left a significant amount of money on the table to say, I want to stay a Maple Leaf, I want to retire a Maple Leaf. And I think there's a lot of appreciation. So there's not really the heat on him the way it had been on him when, people were staring down $11 million per season.
Right. Ottawa Senators, David, I mean, are you in the same boat with me and many, many others? It's hard to figure this team out, exactly what this team is. Some nights, like last night when they beat Vegas 7-1, this is a team that's really, in that echelon to take a step further and be one of the better teams in the East. And then the next game you go, now I see why they are, at the bottom of the standings here, even though they're a win or two away from being in a playoff position or sniffing it around. But I don't know. What do you make of this team, Dave?
Well, we've had them on a few Scotiabank Wednesday night hockeys, and between Justin Bourne and Sam Cosentino, they kind of cracked the code. They really simplified it. And you've heard Travis Green say this. You've heard Jake Sanderson say this. It's goaltending. They have, at this stage of the season, we're not talking just bad goaltending. We're talking historically bad goaltending. Their save percentage is as low as any team in the last 30 years. So let that sink in. Sam Cosentino showed a graphic that said if they get 900 save percentage, which is basically league average. I think the league average is 898. If they get a 900 save percentage, the Ottawa Senators are like 17-3-1 this year, like an incredible record. When they get below that, they're like, 5-26-2 or whatever. Like it was such an appreciable difference. And we're not talking about you need Patrick Waugh and Dominic Hasek in that. It's like, you just need serviceable goaltending. And they've used 5 different goalies. The very latest one has been James Reimer. But none of them have stuck. Allmark, we're not sure. He was backing up Reimer, so it looks like he's on the cusp of returning, which would be great. But he left with personal issues he was addressing, which, we all saw in the interview he did with TSN. And, hopefully he can come back and perform at the level that won him the Vezina a few years ago. But aside from Allmark, all the other guys they put in there to replace him to try and stop the bleeding, it hasn't worked. It's been a disaster. So I'm not trying to completely simplify it. But I mean, that's a massive, massive, massive part of it. Just some average goaltending. They'd have, let's say 10 more points and they'd be in a playoff spot.
Yeah. David Amber with us on the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440. Buffalo Sabres. I mean, this is a great, great story. And how long it's been for this team to get into the playoffs. Do you feel that people are cheering for these guys, Dave?
I do. I mean, I think hockey fans should, because, Buffalo's a great hockey market. We always talk about the pride we have in our Canadian markets. They're strong markets, passionate fans, really love the game, dedicated to the game. They live and breathe with their hometown teams. Buffalo's the same. I know it's in the U.S., but they are, arguably the best U.S. market, if not one of the best U.S. markets. They have a devoted group of fans. They're strong allegiances, strong passion, strong history. And this would be one of those great Cinderella stories. I mean, they were dead last in the Eastern Conference, and then they rattle off 10 wins, and they've now won 17 of 21. And they're not just in the playoff picture. They're basically fighting now towards a division title, which Which begs a funny question, and I say this somewhat tongue-in-cheek, but I'll throw it out to you. Like, if they win the Atlantic Division, should Kevin Adams be considered for GM of the year? Like, and I know he got fired, but my point is, and he got fired, and then they went on this epic run. But Jarmo Kekalainen, with all due respect, and he's obviously a great hockey guy, but he hasn't done anything.
Yeah.
And they just sort of sat down in the office and they just started winning. And it's like, well, this is Kevin Adams' team. He must be so disillusioned right now.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that Kekalainen's done is extend Josh Doan so far, right?
Exactly. He struck a check for $48 million or whatever, which was nice. But who acquired Josh Doan?
Yeah,
it was Kevin Adams, right? Like, who has made the deals? It's just funny, and again, I say that tongue in cheek, but poor Kevin Adams, man. Like, he did all these moves. He took so much criticism, and listen, deservedly so. He'd been there a long time. They haven't made the playoffs in 14 years. Like, he deserved his share of the criticism. But now that things have turned the corner, we should give him some credit too.
Absolutely.
He clearly was the architect of this team that suddenly has started to perform. He's the one who drafted a lot of these guys. He's the one who traded for a lot of these players, and here they are. And finally, they're getting some results, and it's fun to see.
That's a great point. Really astute on your part, Dave. What do you think he's going to do with Alex Tuck here, Kekalainen? I mean, this is a guy that's, a UFA at the end of this year. He's going to double his salary and then some. But what do they do with him here?
They are really stuck between a rock and a hard place. And I do think Alex Tuck, now he's seeing a little bit of like, wow, this could be so much fun to win here. That might, and he's an upstate New York guy. Like, this is his hometown team. It's a tough one though, because, you're making all this progress. The fan base is re-energized. The team is re-energized. And then what, you're going to go, well, we can't sign this guy. We better go move him for some prospects. Like, that would not sit well, I don't imagine. I think they're going to do everything in their power to get that done. It's just, it's difficult because there is a salary cap and you have to work within the constraints. You don't want to overpay them to the point of it damaging the future prospects of your team. You're going to have to pay some of these other young players on the team that are coming up. So they're going to have to be mindful of it. I'd like to think there's something that's going to get resolved, but until it does, until it's done, it's not done, is the bottom line. And there's been, situations before where everyone was like, oh, Rantanen with the Avalanche, of course that'll get done. I mean, that was me a year ago. I was like, there's no way Rantanen's going to leave the Avalanche. Why would he? Like, he's got this great setup. He's with McKinnon, They won a Stanley Cup. And then I'm like, wow, he got traded. So I'm, all bets are off, but I'd like to think that they can find some common ground and make it work.
Yeah. Montreal Canadiens, when we go around the Canadian teams here, they're just, they're tied right now with Buffalo with 63 points. Do you think the Habs have enough here to continue down the stretch and make the playoffs here, Dave?
Well, something great I just saw on Instagram is Alex Newhook this morning skating on his own. He had that horrific ankle injury. Remember, he went hard into the boards and just, you don't want to watch it. And the idea that he's now skating means that I'd like to think by the end of the Olympic break, we're talking a month from now, right? Or something that's, February, a month from now, that he'd be good to go. So, Alex Newhook returning, Patrick Laine returning. They've gotten Gooley back. They've gotten Doc back. They're getting healthy. And unlike Edmonton, unlike Toronto, that have to do all these cap gymnastics to get anyone on the roster, they have to do all sorts of juggling. Montreal has a ton of cap space. I think they have the third most cap space of any team. They have a ton of prospects. They have a ton of draft picks. They have all the capital you could want. So, if I'm Kent Hughes, Jeff Gorton, and that management group, I'm saying, we could make a run here. Like, I'll ask you this. Like, look, in the Western Conference, I look at 5 teams that could come out of there, and they're all Stanley Cup contenders. The top 3 in the Central, and then Vegas and Edmonton. I look at those as all Stanley Cup caliber teams. In the East, I think it's wide open. Like, it's absolutely wide open. You could get there as the second wild card, the first wild card, and find yourself in the Stanley Cup final, and I wouldn't blink bat an eye, right? Like, there's a lot of new blood. Detroit, Buffalo, Pittsburgh, who hasn't been there in a few years, the Islanders, Boston, who was dead last in the East last year. They're now in a wild card. So you have a bunch of teams that didn't even make the playoffs a year ago who are currently sitting in playoff spots. And I know you have the Florida Panthers are coming on strong and trying to make that push. And, maybe that's where they're going to eventually end up. But at this point, I would say the East is pretty wide open. And if you're Montreal, you have just as much chance to run through the East and get to the Stanley Cup final as any of those teams there. And to me, that should be incentive enough. And you have the draft capital and everything else to make a significant move. Even if, Newhook and Laine and everyone come back, you can still make another significant move on that team. And I wouldn't be shocked if they do that.
From our text line, one last one for you, Dave. David Amber is my favorite Canadian broadcaster. Is he doing the Olympics? What's going on there, Super?
Well, first of all, that's nice of my mom to text into you. I appreciate that. I'm not doing the Olympics. I'm going to be golfing. And not in 5 feet of snow, I hope.
Oh,
so
beautiful.
And you've seen my golf game. It needs a lot of work. So I'm not going to be there. It's going to be, so I can tell you, it'll be James Duffy will be hosting some of the hockey. Kevin Bieksa will be there. Elliot Friedman will be there. Cheryl Pounder will be there. And I believe Cassie Campbell-Pascal will be there. So it'll be a bit of a mixed group there, and it'll be a lot of fun. They'll provide, excellent coverage. And I guess the dream scenario is 3 weeks? Is it 3 weeks or 4 weeks? 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Yesterday, we'll watch, 4 weeks less a day, 27 days. It'll be Canada, U.S. battling for gold in Italy would be sort of the ultimate storyline. I'm not sure that's going to happen, but that would certainly be a lot of fun to get out the popcorn and sit back and enjoy that.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, stay warm. And hey, you got a snowblower, Dave?
No, God, no. This is like abnormal. I shoveled 3 times yesterday, so that just gives you a sense of what happened. But yeah, it's not. Listen, it's bad, but it's manageable. We'll get through this.
Those guns that you've got, that's your snowblower right there.
Yeah, I got a good workout yesterday. The back's a little stiff today, but I definitely got a good workout without going to the gym yesterday.
Hey, David, always nice talking to you. Thanks for coming on as always, and we'll see you soon. Take care, man.
Yeah, my pleasure, Kevin. Be well. Take care, and nice to see the Oilers still rolling. Yeah. So we'll talk soon.
You betcha. David Amber from Hockey Night in Canada and Rogers Sportsnet. Man, it's been a long time. David and I, we were in Calgary together. He was working at TSN back in the day, and you know what? It's 30 years ago. 30 years ago, 1996. Unreal. And he was working at as the bureau reporter for TSN there, and I was working at CTV Calgary. Old Kevin Smith was at Global, and we used to go out and golf at Springbank Links all the time. They would have some of the media people out there. And man, Dave, he's a big, powerful guy, man. He used to be able to pound the ball. I'm sure he still can. That was the headliner of the day, brought to you by Mr. Reuter Plumbing, your top defense pairing against leaks. That's MrReuter.ca. When we come back, we'll get to some of your texts, 833-401-1440. It's the Kevin Karius Show with the Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick, and also Mac Intern. Sports 1440 AM radio. We're streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
Today on Hey Culligan, how smart is your water? Here's Tracy.
Hey Culligan, I think my water might be dumb.
Good news, Tracy. Your water's not dumb. It's just not talking to you.
You can make my water talk.
No, but the new Culligan Smart Drinking Water System can talk to your phone to tell you when your water filters need changing and help you meet drinking water goals.
Now that's some brilliant H2O.
You said it, Tracy, and we're already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test from a local Culligan water expert at Culligan.ca.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310-GLASS or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
This is Andrew Walker, host of the postgame show on Sports 1440. After every hockey game this season, tune in and chime in as we talk about the game. It's all sponsored by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Don't get left in the cold. Visit legacyheating.ca.
Legacy Heating and Cooling sucks. Yeah, Legacy can now suck your ducts with professional duct cleaning, furnace cleaning, and dryer vent cleaning.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
When you need the filth sucked from your air ducts.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
When you want cleaner air for your family.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Legacy now offers air duct cleaning. Book in today. Just call Legacy.
The job won't wait. Why should you? At AWS Welding Supplies and Repairs, conveniently located in Nisku, we've got everything you need to get it done. From product sales to servicing and calibrating machines, we're your one-stop shop. We're a proud, locally owned and operated business, committed to serving our community with a proven track record of customer service. Don't let a broken tool slow you down. We offer fast repairs and free same-day delivery of in-stock items to Leduc, Nisku, and South Edmonton. AWS Welding. We make it happen.
Diablo Boots sells only Canadian-made work and biker boots made by Canada West. No American or boots made in China, so no tariffs. All of Diablo's boots have replaceable soles and heels for longer life. Sizes 6 to 14 Triple E. Buy quality, buy Canadian. And support Canada West and Diablo, the two best names in the boot business. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Buy Canadian. They're terrific.
Ever had a problem returning auto parts? At Ed's Auto Salvage in Westlock, we do things differently. Hi, it's Lisa, and we're proud to offer one of the best return policies in the business. When you shop with us, you buy with confidence, knowing that if it doesn't fit or if it's not the right part, we'll make it right. For nearly 50 years, Ed's Auto Salvage has helped Alberta drivers save money, stay on the roads, and shop stress-free. Trust the team that stands behind every part we sell. Visit us at edsautosalvage.com.
You're listening to Sports 1440 and watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Sports 24/7. We are Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program, 944 in Edmonton. Kevin Karius, Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick with you, as well as Mac the intern on Sports 1440. So glad you're with us on a Monday morning. Spencer Love just sent me the video, and I showed the Duke and Josh and everybody here from yesterday's Oil Rumble. And Josh is going to put it on, where are you going to put it on, Josh? On YouTube here or something in the next little bit. There was two little forays that I had. I was lucky enough to do it with the Voros twins and Richie King and Dean Richter, and then Thaddeus Archer III. So anyway, I don't know. I showed the guys here, Duke's laughing, and everyone's going it was fun. I had a lot of fun with it. And, you know, just to get the choreography down and everything like that. Duke, you liked the jacket, though? You thought the jacket was the Reg Dunlop / Tim Dr. Hook McCracken from Slapshot Jacket?
Yeah, I thought it was good. Where do you even get something like that?
I got it from a friend of mine, Terry Neath, years and years
that
ago.
from Value Village Boutique back in the day, or what?
I don't know. I've had it for a long time. I used to wear it all the time, Duke. Like when I would go out.
Really?
No, but like 20 years ago. I mean, I would put it on and go out, and the amount of comments that I got on that jacket were just
rightfully so.
And even,
did wearing it give you like that, like special sort of like confidence? Like you felt like you had the Kavorka out there?
Yeah.
Wearing that?
I had the Kavorka, yes. Anyway, so I was down in the media lounge before the game, and a whole bunch of scouts were there. Like Cross and Ricky Carrier. Bob Green was in there, and they were just howling at this jacket. Because these guys are all, back from they're
previous era,
60 years old or whatever. They just were howling at this jacket. So Spencer's supposed to send the other one as well. We had a couple of videos from yesterday. So I think I have the second one now. I don't know. I'll have to find it. But Duke, so you think tonight's Ducks and Oilers game is going to be high scoring?
I do. You like where's your what's your reasoning on disagreeing with me on this?
The reasoning is because every time it's going to be a high-scoring game and you think it's going to be wide open, somehow, one way or the other, it doesn't live up to those expectations. That's where I'm getting it from. And this happens a lot. And it happens a lot when you think it could be a little bit of a lower scoring game. And then for some reason, it opens up. But you think because of the way Anaheim plays, it's going to be wide open.
I do. And like the Ducks are, in terms of like chances against, they're right near the bottom of the league. They're 31st in goals against per game. The Oilers are 22nd. It's not exactly like we're looking at a pair of defensive juggernauts squaring off here in terms of their usual style of play. And I have to think for the Oilers, if they get going in a track meet style game, like they're not against it. They're fine playing that way as long as, obviously they get a few more past the opposition than they get past them. But I know we brought it up with Eddie and Speck. And I don't believe the team's taken the ice just yet for their morning skate. But what would you be looking at goaltender wise
for tonight? I'd be going with Jari.
Yeah.
I'd be going with Jari. And then to be honest with you, depending on how things go tonight, I'm going with Jari again against San Jose.
Really?
Well, you got 3 days off. You traded for this guy, Duke,
to be your number one.
Yeah. And he's playing 2 out of 3 games here. And the key is, though, that you have a guy in Connor Ingram that should be pushing him.
Well, that's what I mean. So, like, with that being said, like the last couple of times out, neither guy has blown you away. I mean, obviously Ingram gets the yank on Saturday night, but before that, he'd been rock solid for the past 3 weeks.
For sure.
So, is there any inclination just to keep rotating and try and keep your guys fresh? I like you said, I know there's 3 days off here, but
if there were only 2 days off, then I would have, like, they say they played the Sharks on Wednesday night, then I'd go back to Ingram. But this is all things considered that Jari's going to have a decent showing tonight.
Right.
So
if he doesn't, then your opinion could obviously be subject to change here. Yeah. So for you, is that like goals against, saves made, just a general eye test on how he looks in the net?
Win.
Just a win. That's it.
Like you're expecting a 6-5 game or a 5-4 game.
Something like that, yeah.
Okay. Call it 6-4. Let's just say Jari gives up 4 and it's an empty netter. Say it's 6-4. I'm throwing him back in again.
Really? Okay.
Just again, because it's an extra day off. And I think that he's got to get to the stage here where he is the guy. And it's up to him. You can't be the guy without playing
2 out of 3.
Yes, and playing well and winning. So let him get into a bit of a rhythm here. And again, the reason, like, they didn't know what they had when they called Ingram up yet. Ingram's numbers in the AHL were quite poor.
Right.
So they weren't sure exactly what they were going to have with him. And I agreed. So he had the one bad game that was Boston, I guess.
New Year's Eve game, Ingram was not very good.
So you can talk about letting 3 in the other night. Well, whatever. They still won the game. That's the most important thing for me. But if Ingram can continue to push Jari, that's great. But I still think Jari's your guy. You traded for him, and you made him your number one for a reason.
Right. I don't disagree.
Yeah.
I don't. I just wonder, is there any factor being relayed in here by the coaching staff about, Jari's injury history? And he's already missed a couple stints this year with the groin problem. Is now, if it's healed, it's healed. And you can roll back out there, but any chance of aggravation due to overstimulation, I think has to be in your mind.
But again, you look at it, so he played 2 periods Saturday, whatever it was. You got a day off. He's going to play tonight. I'm assuming he plays tonight, then you got 3 more days off right before the next game. So Tony Brar just having a quick little media scrum there with Josh Szymanski. So he'll make his NHL debut tonight. I don't know who his line mates will be. Good, there's a damn good chance he centers the third line. He could center the third line. You got Lazar still on your 4C. He could be playing with Matt Savoy tonight, Szymanski.
Right.
So, he plays with Savoy. The other thing that comes into play here is that Kapanen is getting closer, right? So if Kapanen comes in at some point, well, where is he going to slot in? He's going to slot in with Leon and Podkolzin.
I would think so. The
So-
line looked pretty good.
So that also, then you could have a line of Roslovic, Savoy, and Szymanski.
And at this stage, who is your odd man out?
Howard's down, right? So that takes him out of the mix. So
Right, but you're still got one extra body.
one more body. To me, it's probably Mangiapane again. Hate to say it, but it's probably Mangiapane. Who would it be for you?
Well, I mean, take your pick. I think at this point, it has to be one of Mangiapane and Frederick still. And this was, it's lightheartedly brought up in the Tropics dressing room last night. We're having some beers post game and just talking a little hockey from the Saturday game and previous time. Like Evan Bouchard had more points on Saturday night than Trent Frederick is on pace for the whole year.
On pace for, not even just, that's hard to believe.
It really is. And then naturally the automatic follow-up to that by another comment in the room was, well, the good news is there's only 7 more years. Lots of time to, it's depends on what lens you're trying to look at it through, an optimist or a pessimistic one. That's a long contract. It's not exactly like you're just shipping them out the door and saying, how do you do? Thanks for your time. That's a long runway to hopefully try and get things back on track and return to the version of a player that made you an asset that teams wanted to acquire and signed to an extension, right?
2 goals, 1 assist, 3 points. Yep, on pace. If he doubles that,
we're already well past the midway point of the year. And at this rate, he's not going to be playing every night.
Jane Victoria says, is there any world would they start Cal Pickard? Send a message to the 2 that they need to play well to play here. No, Jay, no. This is where you're going with these 2 goalies. Cal Pickard, good soldier. But his role right now is to be the number 3 guy, and then they'll figure things out here in a month after the Olympics. So you take it from there. He's the odd man out. That's the way it is. And he's just going to have to live with that moving forward here. Hey, top of the hour, we're going to talk a little football with Luke Easterling from Athlon Sports. We'll check out the AFC, NFC divisional games, championship games, and look forward to Super Bowl 60. Super Bowl 60. Also got Zach Kavanaugh from the Sporting Tribune, covers the Ducks. We'll preview tonight's game as well. Before that, time now for a Sports 1440 update brought to you by First Round. And you know what? Sunday's got even better at First Round. You could win an NFL helmet, a jersey, enjoy the Pro Bowl brunch. We'll also we'll do a giveaway here as well coming up at 10:40-ish. We'll do a table for 6 for First Round. We gave away one already. We'll do another one today. So if you want to go to the Super Bowl party at First Round right here in the mall, be listening around 10:40. We'll get you in there. It's a massive, massive prize. You could win up to $3,000 in entertainment and theater, TV, the whole bit coming up. We'll do that at 10:40. Here is the Duke.
The Sports 1440 update.
Game day for the Edmonton Oilers as they host the Anaheim Ducks tonight from Rogers Place. Anaheim coming in winners of 7 straight. The Oilers just recalling Josh Szymanski from Bakersfield. Ike Howard sent down in a corresponding move. Szymanski expected to make his NHL debut tonight. Puck drop coming up at 6:30. Elsewhere around the NHL, 4 other games. Mammoth in Tampa Bay. Rangers host the Bruins at MSG. Islanders play the Flyers, and the LA Kings are in Columbus against the Blue Jackets. In the association tonight, 7 games total. Atlanta hosting Indiana, Orlando up against Cleveland, Boston taking on Portland from the Garden, Chicago up against the Lakers, and Golden State in Minnesota. Scotty's Tournament of Hearts Continuing this morning's draw, some final scores. Canada defeating Quebec 8-2. Yukon getting beat by BC 11-4. Nova Scotia falling to Manitoba 8-2, and still underway. Saskatchewan up against the Northwest Territories. Coming up at the 2 o'clock draw, Nova Scotia's Team Black will play Newfoundland. None of it up against Alberta and Kayla Skrillex rink. New Brunswick taking on PEI. Manitoba playing Northern Ontario. Coming up in hour 4 of the Kevin Karius Show, we'll be joined by Luke Easterling from Athlon Sports covering the NFL, as well as Zach Kavanaugh from the Sporting Tribune covering the Anaheim Ducks. I'm Brandon Douglas at your Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, the Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Center. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Center has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at EdmontonExpoCenter.com today.
Exciting news from St. Albert Dodge. The all-new 2026 Jeep Gladiator Sport packages have arrived. They have a great selection and a bunch of colors to choose from. And if you've checked out the Sport, you know it comes in some fun colors. Rugged capability, practical off-road features, and you can get behind the wheel for as low as $49,900. That's right. Put yourself in a brand new Jeep Gladiator Sport for less than $50,000. What more can you ask for? Time to head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
He's a legend in the booth and a master on the mic. Low Tide brings the banter weekdays from noon to 2. Sports 1440 is where Edmonton talks sports. Get in the game. Text 833-401-1440.
Invest for today and tomorrow. Vision Credit Union makes it simple with 2 RRSP options to fit your goals. Choose a secure term deposit RRSP with guaranteed returns or a mutual fund RRSP offering higher growth potential with exciting opportunities. With an RRSP, you'll save on your income tax, grow your investments tax-free, and get closer to your dreams. Whether it's retirement or your first home, the deadline to qualify for 2025 tax deductions is March 2nd. Learn more at visioncu.ca.
Welcome to Uncommon. Welcome to Subaru. Engineered for Canadian winters, built for real-life confidence. Tackle the ice and snow with Subaru's symmetrical all-wheel drive, delivering the power, control, stability, and grit you need. And when the temperature plummets, you'll cruise in comfort with heated seats and heated steering wheel. All this plus peace of mind with Subaru's top safety pick status for 19 years running. This winter, it's time to get you into a Subaru. Visit Subaru.ca.
Have your sports curiosity cured with the Kevin Karius Show. This is Sports 1440.
Luke. All right, welcome back to the big program. 10 o'clock in Edmonton. Excited to talk a little football now, NFL style. We busted down the games all morning long with Eddie Steele, but we're going to get Luke Easterling's opinion and take on what we saw yesterday in the AFC and the NFC championship games. Luke from Athlon Sports covers the NFL. Morning, Luke. You're with Kevin Karius. Thanks for jumping on Sports 1440 this morning. Really appreciate it.
Hey, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Hey, let's start in the AFC. And I mean, when you look at New England from 2 years ago, where this team went, 8-26 prior to this year. What an incredible turnaround when you think about it in the big picture here, Luke. Now they're going to the Super Bowl after 2 really tough seasons. Maybe just your thoughts on the complete and massive turnaround with the Patriots and going to the Super Bowl here.
Yeah, I think it speaks to a couple of things. I think when you having the right head coach means everything, right? I think that's, we could go back a year and say, how do you fire a guy like Gerard Mayo? You only gave him 1 year. Yeah. You didn't give an opportunity to grow with a young quarterback. You can say that, and then things like this happen. I remember a few years back when the Arizona Cardinals took Josh Rosen in the top 10 of the draft, and then the following year they took Kyler Murray at number 1. It's like, you can't be afraid to move on from a mistake when you know that's not the right guy. And the flip side of what Mike Vrabel has done in his first year, it just shows you what a difference the right guy makes in that spot. And I think, obviously, Drake May cures a lot of ills, right? When you have a young franchise quarterback who can make the plays that he can make, and what he's done with that offense without really a true number one wide receiver. He's done it with, a group of guys that are, talented and doing a lot of the right things, but nobody who kind of strikes fear into opposing defenses. So it's been great to see him do that. I think the biggest difference that we've seen from this team has been since the return of Milton Williams on defense and what he has meant to that unit.
Mm-hmm.
They really weren't that great for much of the year without him in the lineup. If you go out and look at just the year-long stats, they don't really look like a great defense on paper, but as soon as he got back in the lineup, we've seen how dominant he can be. We see how big that transformation has been for that entire defense. And so I think those are the things that I look at when you set a culture, you get the right guy in that spot at leading that team. This is what can happen. We talk about, culture and all these different buzzwords as it relates to an NFL locker room. This is what it looks like in actuality. This is what the reality of that is. And it's impressive what Mike Vrabel's done with that team in just 1 year.
The whole team, do you think they've just taken over the identity of their head coach, Luke?
I mean, it sure looks that way. And if you just listen to the way the players speak about him, you can tell that, and there's a way to be a tough coach without being a coach that turns your players off, with your abrasiveness. And there's a way to be a player's coach where you're not just their best friend all the time. You're not willing to hold them accountable. You're not willing to be a leader in a way that you have to be and not just be their friend. And I think what Mike Vrabel does so well is balance both of those ends of the spectrum and does it. And I think he did it really well in Tennessee. I think that the Titans made a massive mistake. A lot of people thought that right away when they moved on from him. And again, there was a lot to that really didn't have much to do with Mike, but it just, he's always been that way. And you ask anybody who played for him in Tennessee, and I think they would tell you the same thing. And so the fact that he got a chance to go back to New England, to back to his old team and be able to turn things around in the way that it's happened so quickly, I'm happy for him. But if you're the Titans, you're not feeling great right now. Just about, you're probably feeling about as great as you are if you're the Minnesota Vikings watching Sam Darnold go to the Super Bowl on the other side, right?
Yeah, exactly. Luke Easterling from Athlon Sports, our guest on the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440. I think Sean Payton's really kicking himself for not taking points in the field goal and everything like that, because with the rookie quarterback, points were at a premium yesterday. Everyone knew that when it was coming in, and what we saw in the second half with the weather. How big of a mistake do you think this was?
Yeah, I think, hindsight's always 20/20, but that kind of situation, we've been talking about this for weeks, like in the national NFL media, where it's just like the pendulum always swings back and forth, right? We've got, nobody used to go for it on fourth down all the time, and now everybody goes for it on fourth down all the time, to the point where it's swung to a point where people are just skipping over easy opportunities to take points. And even when the weather's not a factor, it's so hard for me to justify, unless it's 4th and 1 or less, and unless you really have an advantage, and unless, again, game script can dictate those things. If you really feel like you need a jolt or anything, almost like a fake punt, you really feel like you need to keep something going, or you're giving the game away. But in those conditions, under those circumstances, I think it would have been the right call to kick the field goal. I think it was that way in the moment. So it's one thing to say, yeah, it's hindsight because it didn't work. It really would have been the smart call, and I think a lot of people said that in the moment, and I definitely think he's kicking himself this morning.
I think so too. Yeah. Luke Easterling with us on Sports 1440. So in the NFC Championship, obviously a lot more wide open, high end, high energy, a lot more offense. But man, when you look at and break down Sam Darnold's play yesterday, Luke, I mean, you're looking at a guy that was waiting for a game like this for a lot of years, and he really came through when his team needed him.
Yeah, it's just such a great thing to see. When you go from being a number 3 overall pick, you go to a team like the Jets that just doesn't build around you, doesn't give you an opportunity to grow and develop and maximize the talent that you have. And then you bounce around, Carolina, San Francisco. You go to Minnesota, where you have an opportunity to work with Kevin O'Connell, who's one of the best in the business when it comes to developing quarterbacks and running an offense.
Mm-hmm.
and then they give up on you after a year, right? They say, thanks for 14-3. We'll take it from here with JJ McCarthy, our top 10 pick. And then you move on and you get a chance to go to Seattle. And listen, I'll be the first to admit, I've been wrong about a lot of things over the years, and it'll happen again in the future. I hated the Seahawks offseason. I criticized them so much for the decisions they made in the offseason. I thought trading away Geno Smith just so they could sign Sam Darnold was a lateral move at best. I thought, getting rid of DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett and bringing in Cooper Kupp, I was like, what's the advantage here? Like, what are you accomplishing by doing those things and making those changes? And first of all, I don't know if it would have mattered what they did on offense, but as well as that defense played for much of the year. But yesterday it mattered a lot that it was Sam Darnold in that spot, that it was Cooper Kupp in those spots against his old team. He made some seriously clutch plays yesterday, and just everybody stepped up. So, I'll take a loss on that all day long. One of my worst takes of the year by far, that Sam Darnold was a downgrade from Geno Smith. But just it speaks to his fortitude as a human being. It speaks to his ability as a player to overcome all that adversity that he faced earlier in his career. It's kudos to Clint Kubiak and that offense and that entire organization for putting their faith in him this offseason and signing him to be their franchise quarterback. And just, it was great to see. It was a great game yesterday. Kubiak called a fantastic game against Chris Shula, one of the better defensive coordinators in the league, had some really clutch calls and clutch moments, and they executed them really well. So I think that's the scary thing. We know that Seattle's defense is dominant. We've just seen their offense be too inconsistent at times. And again, going back to Darnold personally, the way his season ended in Minnesota last year against this Rams defense, and for him to go out and have the game he had in front of a home crowd in Seattle, just a great way to cap that off. And obviously they're hoping to add one more chapter here in Santa Clara.
What do you think of the four coaches that were left that we saw yesterday? And I'm just thinking about Mike McDonald here, maybe flying under the radar. You think about how emotional like guys like Vrabel and McVay and Peyton are. And McDonald's he's composed. Maybe just, what are your thoughts on that there?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was funny. I texted my dad and my brothers. We always have a text thread going on game days, and we're talking about the fact that the buzzy thing nowadays is like, you got to have that trendy offensive coordinator / head coach guy, or you can't be successful, right? You got to have that innovative offensive mind, and he's got to be your head coach, because otherwise he'll get hired away, right? Like Ben Johnson in going from Detroit to Chicago. You got to have that Sean McVay type of guy, right, as your head coach. And look at who we got left, man. We got Mike Vrabel on the defensive side of the ball. We got Mike McDonald on the defensive side of the ball. So I think, listen, there's a lot of ways to do this. I'm from Tampa. I'm a longtime Bucs fan. So I've seen Tony Dungy's calm, cool, collected, never says a word, never gets emotional whatsoever. They were successful for a long time. And then in comes John Gruden, who's the complete opposite about that. And he's dropping every word in the dictionary to the refs, to his players, to everybody. And he's high energy, and you can win that way too. So I think it's all about, it's far less about whether or not you're a high energy guy or whether or not you're a reserved guy that doesn't show your emotions. It's about whether or not you can be authentic with your players and they can buy into who you are. I think that's what it is. If you are naturally a more reserved guy and you try to go out there and pretend that you're this rah-rah, let's get in your face, let's have this high energy. I didn't play in the NFL, but I played football long enough to know that players can see through that stuff so quickly when you're not being authentic as a person, and they can't believe you as a coach if you're not being authentic as a person. And I think that's what both of these coaches, again, I mentioned it with Vrabel earlier in certain ways, but McDonald is the same way, where it's like, yeah, he doesn't get as hyped as a lot of guys do, but that's not him. And the players don't need him to be somebody he's not. They need him to be who he is, which is an incredibly smart, incredibly effective leader who knows his side of the ball really well and has done a great job empowering the other people on the other side of the ball and managing game situations and doing all those things as a head coach you have to do from a 30,000-foot level, which is not easy to do when you're also trying to coordinate the defense. And so I don't know. I think whether you're a high energy guy, whether you're a reserve guy, as long as that's who you are as a person and that's reflected, players will always respond to that. And if you're not, they will respond negatively. And I think that's the case with both these teams here.
The players will smell out a faker and a phony in a heartbeat.
Every time.
and then you're done. Luke Easterling from Athlon Sports covers the NFL, our guest on the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440. So what do you make about Super Bowl 60? What do you make of this matchup? New England will be the dog in this one. Probably it's at, I think, 5 right now. That's what BetMGM has it at. 4.5, I think, was last night. I think it's even going to get to 5.5 here at some point. But overall, we got a couple weeks away here yet. How do you think this one's going to shake down here, Luke?
Yeah, I just think Seattle's the more complete team right now. I think that from both sides of the ball, when they're humming, they have the most balanced team. And special teams is going to play a part in this too. You got two teams that have two elite return specialists. Marcus Jones on the New England side, obviously Rashid Shaheed on the Seattle side. Both of those guys are game breakers. Shaheed does it more with speed. Jones is more of a kind of a shifty guy that can set up his lanes and do certain things. So those two guys, I think, will have something to say about what happens in this game. All three phases will be important. The kicking game will be important. I think it's going to be a fantastic battle between two great quarterbacks and two great defenses. Again, Milton Williams has really transformed that New England defense and allows them to be a completely different unit than they are with him out of the lineup. And so I think they're better with him in the lineup. I still think Seattle's defense is the best one in the league. I think what McDonald does with his personnel to put them in position, guys like Nick Eamon-Worry, who has just been dominant this season as a nickel defender. They move him all around that scheme and let his athleticism shine. The big thing will be protecting your quarterback, right? If both sides can protect their quarterback and give them time, they'll both have a shot. If they can't, it could get ugly for both teams. But I lean towards Seattle because, again, I think they're more complete. I think the defense has been more consistent. And I vacillate between trusting Sam Darnold's veteran experience versus trusting that Drake May is so young he might not even know to be nervous. Like he might just, like we saw the story coming out of the game on Sunday where that bootleg to win the game at the end was his call. He didn't tell anybody. They were supposed to run the ball and he just took it himself and ran it for the first down without telling anybody. And so those types of plays and decisions in those moments from a 23-year-old quarterback who I think should probably be the NFL MVP. I don't know if he'll get it over Stafford, but he would have gotten my vote. Those are the types of moments where I'm like, dang, Drake May might have something to him that in this moment he can level with a guy who's got as much experience as Sam. But again, I think this game comes down to a kick. It's going to be a close one, whether it's a missed kick or a made kick. Those 3 points, wherever they are, or maybe it's an extra point, maybe it's 1 point, it's going to be tight. I love how balanced both these teams are in all three phases. I think the coaching is superb, and hopefully we get an instant classic there in Santa Clara.
I think you might be right in the sense, Luke, that Drake May might not even know the enormity of what's about to take place here.
Right.
But both quarterbacks are in that. I mean, this is going to be the biggest game that they've played in their careers. Obviously, there's an age difference between the two of them, but do you think one of them can adjust and be a little more prepared and handle the enormity of that situation better than the other?
Again, in that regard, I'd have to lean towards Sam, right? I'd have to lean towards the guy who's been through a bunch of coaching changes and been through a bunch of teams and offensive coordinators and scheme changes. And he's had to endure more adversity and go through a little bit more than Drake May has at 23. Because that's just life, right? You're 23 years old. You've only lived so much. You've only seen so many scenarios. Whereas, if you're at Darnold's point in his life and his career, you've just seen a lot more. You've played a lot more football. You've been in a lot more, different scenarios and games. You're just more mentally and physically prepared for that, I think. So, again, that will be Darnold's superpower. That will be his advantage here. Drake May's advantage will be that he's a little bit better of an athlete, so he gives you a little bit more as a runner in certain situations. And again, he's just got that kind of youthful exuberance about him that maybe he doesn't know what he doesn't know, and maybe that helps him in a certain way because he won't get too high and too low for this game. But I would lean towards Darnold's experience and all the different stops that he's had throughout his career for him to lean on that and be kind of even-keeled and set the tone for his offense in this game.
Great insight, Luke. Really appreciate it. Enjoy this extra week in between and enjoy Super Bowl 60. Thanks for coming on. Really appreciate it.
Hey, my pleasure. You guys enjoy it too. Take care.
You betcha. Luke Easterling from Athlon Sports covers the NFL. And again, extra week off before Super Bowl 60 in Santa Clara. When we come back, we'll preview tonight's Oilers and Ducks game with Zach Kavanaugh from the Sporting Tribune on the Kevin Karius Show with the Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick, and Mac the Intern on Sports 1440 AM radio. We are streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch. Remember 2025? That's so last year. But seriously, St. Albert Dodge needs to clear some 2025 models off the lot to make room for new inventory. So they're having a huge clear out of all the remaining new 2025 Jeep Wrangler Saharas. The Sahara package is the best seller, so they have a great selection to choose from and priced from as low as $59.9. I don't have to tell you, these are going to go fast. So get there before they are gone. Just head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Does your New Year's resolution include saving money? Then don't miss the store-wide inventory clearance at the Brick. Save up to 70% off in-store clearance items. Buy more, save more on bedroom and dining furniture. Up to 25% off. Save on select major kitchen appliances. Plus, buy 2 or more and save the tax. Finally, a resolution you can keep. The Brick, saving you more. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for details.
He's a legend in the booth and a master on the mic. Low Tide brings the banter weekdays from noon to 2. Sports 1440 is where Edmonton talks sports. Get in the game. Text 833-401-1440.
Top quality flooring, locally owned, and Canadian products from Beaulieu. Yeah, that's CFI.
CFI what?
No, CFI, Custom Floors Inc.
From free estimate to professional installation, contact Custom Floors Inc. at customfloorsinc.ca.
Winter in Alberta doesn't mess around.
And neither does Titan Supply.
For over 50 years, we've earned the trust of our customers across a variety of industries.
Because we lead with integrity,
honesty,
and respect.
I'm Joe.
And I'm Brent from Titan Supply. When the weather hits hard,
we're fully stocked with rigging, lifting, and hauling gear that works as hard as you do.
Titan Supply.
Built on trust, driven by safety.
Serving Edmonton, Grand Prairie, Red Deer, and Calgary.
Let us help you face the weather the Titan way.
Visit titansupply.ca.
Across rural Alberta, volunteers and community groups work hard to make life better for their neighbors, creating new playgrounds, better rinks, and gathering places that bring us together. Vision Credit Union is proud to lend these local heroes a helping hand. Apply today for a Helping Hand grant up to $10,000 to support your community's next big idea. Let's make great things happen together. Applications are open until January 31st, 2026. Learn more at whatsyourshare.ca.
Escape the cold and catch the hottest sports action at Selly's Sports Bar and Lounge. Not a bad seat in the house. All the games and tons of big screens. Plus, Selly's menu has something for everyone, along with game night food and drink features. And this January, Oilers watch parties continue. So bring your friends and cheer loud and proud. Selly's Sports Bar and Lounge at all 3 Century Casino locations: Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile.
Every day is game day at Century Casino.
Stories, guests, and insights. This is Sports 1440 and the Kevin Karius Show.
All right, welcome back to the big program, 10:20 in Edmonton, and time now for the game of the day, brought to you by St. Albert Dodge. The all-new 2026 Jeep Gladiator Sport packages have arrived. And we got a great selection, too. Many colors to pick from. $49,900 gets you behind the wheel. Brand new Jeep Gladiators for under $50K. StAlbertDodge.com. Check them out as we welcome in Zach Kavanaugh from the Sporting Tribune. Good morning, Zach. You're with Kevin Karius. Thanks for jumping on Sports 1440 this morning. Really appreciate it. Can you hear us, Zach?
Yes, I got you now.
We got you now. Hey, thanks for jumping on, Zach. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, no, thanks for reaching out, guys. Happy to be north of the border this morning.
Yeah. Hey, man, what's up with this Ducks team right now after the win last night in Calgary, the overtime victory 4-3? Beckett Seneca with the hat trick. That's 7 wins in a row. What is rolling for this Ducks team right now, Zach?
You know, it's funny because this is exactly how Coach Quenneville has wanted them to play all season. Hardworking, on the forecheck, defensive details. And it took losing Leo Carlson, Troy Terry, and Mason McTavish to dial in on those things and recommit to this game. And it was sort of reemerging towards the end of that 9-game losing skid that they were having. And with those guys out, it just kind of said, hey, we got to focus back in and do that. And on top of all that, the defensive details and all that, you know, coach stuff, it helps when your goaltender starts making saves.
Mhm.
And Lucas Dostal is top of the world right now with his play reading ability, his ability to just get side to side and follow those pucks and defend 2-on-0s a lot of times. The shooting disadvantage there in Calgary and in Colorado a couple of nights ago just shows how valuable that he is to this team when they're not as tight as they want to be defensively. He's back there to plug all the holes.
Yeah. You mentioned the injuries. I mean, Leo Carlson, the big one with the Olympics and everything. It's just sad. But is there any chance some of these guys are close to returning to the lineup, Zach?
Yeah, it's funny with Mason because Mason, when we were in Colorado, he took warmups. He's always one of the last guys off. It stays well past that final whistle. And then we saw him walk off, nothing different. And then we get the notice he's actually out with an upper body injury. We're all kind of looked at each other like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
And he supposedly, when we talked to Quenneville the next day, Mason had already come back to California and it was immediately feeling better. So it's possible that he could rejoin the team on the trip. I don't believe he's in Edmonton or Calgary right now, but it's possible. They have a few days off between now and Vancouver, the end of the trip. So he's possibly coming back then, but again, not counting on it. And same thing with Troy Terry, who is out with an upper body injury on IR and also was told maybe he comes back at the end of the trip. But the thing too is with the team rolling as it is, Quenneville doesn't like to make a lot of lineup changes. So even if they came back, I don't know what they would do. But I think you want to have Mason McTavish in your lineup if I was Joel Quenneville. But, what do I know? I'm just the guy sitting behind the microphone.
Veteran leadership, you can't understate it enough. And when the Ducks acquired both Jacob Trouba and Chris Kreider, how much has that added to what the direction of this team needed to go?
I think it's helped out immensely. And Trouba was tough last season because he even admitted to us before the year that he was in such a whirlwind of trying to get his bearings and dealing with everything that happened in New York and finding his way forward. And I feel like he's been a very stabilizing force on the back end with a lot of young guys back there that just don't know how to do it or kind of fluctuate night to night too. And he's been there to be kind of a solid anchor for that unit. I think the real difference with the leadership is Chris Kreider. It was very evident as soon as you walked into that room in training camp how much these young players all gravitated towards him. And every time that they cut to the bench and he has an iPad in his hand and he's pointing something out to particularly Beckett Seneca, who, as we've seen, is just rising. All the times he spends after practice teaching Beckett how to tip pucks into the net and the net for presence. He's a guy that wants to get back on top. He's a guy that wants to bring a franchise back to a winning way because he had a couple tough years in New York and went through the ringer. And I think both those guys have experienced that and want to take this team forward. And they've been stabilizing forces on both their sides of the ice.
Yeah. And I mean, Kreider, especially, as you said, offers so much and, just some net front presence. And he's that guy that, the Rangers are going, man, why didn't we keep this guy? And Trouba too. They just offer so much more than what they had before. And I mean, this is an element that maybe they were looking for as well. Zach Kavanaugh, Sporting Tribune, our guest on the Kevin Carey Show on Sports 1440. When you look at the goaltending, and you mentioned Dostal's been so good. He played last night, so we'll see a change in the pipes tonight here in Edmonton. How much has Dostal meant to this team? Where would you have him if you're voting for team MVP, et cetera, things like that?
So Dostal's an interesting case on an MVP side of things because for as important as he's been in the stretch, when the Ducks were going through that kind of up and down December and then the 9-game losing skid, it was for two reasons. One, the shooting percentage dropped like 5 points, which doesn't help if you're hitting the post all the time. And the goaltending percentage dropped to like, I think 870. It wasn't very good. And even he had come back from an injury and initially it kind of looked like maybe he was rushed back. He just wasn't looking like himself. He wasn't as sharp as he had been to start the year. But with the way this team wants to play, and we've talked about that they focus on the defense, but they're at their best when they're out skating and running and kind of not exchanging chances, but sometimes they give something up on the back end. And Dostal's been very good about closing that off and allowing them to take those offensive chances, allow these young offensive players to grow, the young mobile defense to jump into the play. So I think it's certainly up there. And especially when you look at just how the other goaltending has been, I think Ville Husso, who you'll see tonight, has been a spark plug when he came in, but Peter Mrazek just has been so inconsistent in the other backup spot that it was hard to rely on that, and so they over rely on Dostal, and who knows if that led to his injury or not. But he is, even last season when the team was going through its worst patches, he is the rock that this team builds on, and he gives them such an even, cool confidence. The goaltending personality thing does not apply to this guy whatsoever. He is just a steel-faced assassin back there in the crease.
No kidding. Zach Kavanaugh with us on Sports 1440. Beckett Seneca, as we mentioned, had the hat trick last night, first career, gets the overtime winner. He's got 41 points right now. He's 2 behind Ivan Demidov for the rookie scoring lead. But when you talk about, say, the rookie of the year, because he's on the West Coast, he's probably going to get screwed over on some votes because of Matthew Schaefer being a New York guy and Demidov being in Montreal. But boy, just tell us a little bit about the evolution of Beckett Seneca this year.
When Beckett Seneca stepped on the ice for the rookie face-off tournament back in September, none of us thought he was going to make this team out of camp. Wow. He just simply did not look ready. He didn't look physically. It wasn't even a hockey sense thing. It was, he didn't look physically ready to skate as much as he had to or take the beatings of an NHL season. Even into the preseason, when he was sticking around camp, we all figured, okay, maybe they'll give him a tryout. It just didn't look like he was ready to go. But ever since then, every single week that's gone by, he has looked more and more and more impressive. He has, early in the season, there was still the turnovers at the blue line and things like that, but that has gotten corrected where you can see him thinking in real time of, I got to get this thing deep. I got to be smart about this. You can see in real time him adjusting to the physical nature of doing these reverse checks and protecting the puck. And the thing that impresses me the most is that hockey sense, though. He knows how to find lanes and knows where to be the most dangerous guy on the ice. And that's the intangible that you can't teach, that now they forced him into these game situations. He's blossomed. And without all these guys out that we mentioned, I really believe that he's been the most consistent player on the team all season. Outside of he had a really hot start where he scored his first goal, and I think scored 5 points in his first 6 games. Then he didn't score a point for 4 games, which was like, oh no, maybe he's cooling down. We're going to send him back. He has not gone without a point for more than 2 games the rest of the stretch. And he's 19 years old, and he is flourished on every single line combination he's been on. He's been different spots because of injury or needs or trying to spark things. And he just gets better and better every game. And if he can start kicking up the scoring pace, maybe he can finally get some eyes. This is the first trip north of the border in Canada, obviously. And now to have that as his introduction to Canadian play, hopefully that elevates his status in the media a little bit. But he is impressive. And just the amount that he has grown from day one to game 49 that we're at here.
Is it similar? I mean, Cutter Gauthier a little bit older than him, but what he's done, Cutter Gauthier is a 21-year-old. I mean, leading the team in scoring, you got to be really impressed of how he's handled things this year too.
Cutter's interesting too, because he had a different kind of path here where under Greg Cronin, Cutter Gauthier was sent down to the 3rd and 4th lines a lot of the night. A lot of the first half of the season to learn the NHL intangibles of the game. You got to learn how to be a hardworking player and all that sort of stuff. And he didn't start to score until the second half of the season. And he still ended up with 20 goals as a rookie. And Cutter, I think, has, in again, just a short time span here, has really matured into being one of those young leaders. He is a presence when you speak to him in the locker room. He's a guy that loves to have the puck on his stick, loves to shoot, and his playmaking ability is showing up now more too. Now that he's, again, with the injuries, he's on a line with Ryan Poehling and Jeffrey Viel, and that line is the best line on the team as it's been constructed the last 2 or 3 games. And a lot of that is Cutter's play driving and maturity to find the lanes and not just take every shot he can get. And I think he is a guy that when everybody gets healthy again, I would love to see him back with Leo Carlson, because I do believe that is kind of the pairing that they need to go forward with. But Cutter has toned down the unbridled enthusiasm, and at times in the first season, you could call him cocky. He was a young guy that knew he was good at the game, and he's had his learning bumps a bit, and now he's one of the most mature young guys on this group. As you said, just 22 years old now. He's ready to go.
when Jackson Lacombe was named as the replacement for Seth Jones for the American Olympic team, Zach, how did that kind of go over in the room? And I mean, you got to have teammates that are so happy for a guy that is, a young up and coming defenseman, as you know, but there must have been a hell of a reaction from amongst his teammates when he was named that replacement for Seth Jones.
Absolutely. And I think it's funny because I think the rest of the team has to have the enthusiasm that Jackson does not show on a daily basis. He's, we interview him and he's just like, yeah, super thrilled to be part of the team. You're like, okay, but was it like a dream for you to make this? He's like, yeah, of course. You watch the Miracle movies and you watch the teams and it was really, really, really cool. You're like, all right, man. But the players, the rest of the room really gravitates. They announce it at practice and all the stick taps and the yelling out for him. He's another guy that has had a meteoric rise. Like 2 years ago when he was in his rookie year, he looked lost on the ice a lot of nights. And even at the start of last season, it took him a while to become a regular in the lineup, but he took off at the end of last year and now he's a minutes eater. He's the number one defenseman on this team. That I saw a lot of discussion, obviously, with should it have been him or Lane Hudson or who else should have been replacing there in the back end. But when you look at the type of player he's coming in for in Seth Jones, that is a kind of guy that he is. He's bigger. He's a minutes eater. He has that long reach. He can move the puck in transition, but not like jump up too far into the play. I think Jackson is evolving into a very mature player. He does play like I said, with his personality, he does play a little too low heart rate sometimes, and maybe can get caught from behind. And I think he's trying to find that balance between being super calm and finding that urgency to be an impact player.
For the most part, Zach, I mean, Pat Verbeek has his ducks in a row here moving forward, especially with a lot of the young guys. That's going to come, and there'll be a time and a day here, down the road where a lot of these contracts are going to be, there's some big ones. But what about, say, for next year for guys on the back end like Trouba and like Radko Gudas that are UFAs next year? I assume that they like what's happening there. I'm sure Trouba enjoys being a part of what's turned around here. Is there a possibility that he could stick around? And I'm talking in Trouba in particular, stick around on another deal here once he becomes a UFA?
I really get the sense that he would. It feels like he's a guy that likes to particularly get his roots down and kind of settle in. He just had a second child. His wife moved out here over the offseason finally after all the turmoil of last year. I really believe that he's a guy that not only does he want to stay here, but I think Pat Verbeek really likes the way he plays. Obviously, we know how Pat was as a player, and he likes those little ball of hate tendencies, even though Trouba's kind of a big ball of hate in that way. Super nice off the ice, of course, but just keeps those elbows up, as we all know. Yeah. I think when I look at the makeup of this Ducks defense too, people have talked about maybe getting rid of the older guys, and I feel like Radko may move on. Go back to Czech Republic or something like that. But you can't have, as much as Jackson's been a riser here, he will be just 25 when next season starts. And you cannot have the 25-year-old be the veteran leader of your defense. You need somebody back there that's going to be a bit more stay at home. It's going to be a bit more rough and tumble. And I think he brings that and those surprising offensive abilities. He's been on the power play recently. I think he's a guy that will definitely stick around. If I had my guesses, that's what I would pick. Yeah.
And again, they have to take care of the young guys too, but I mean, those are almost easier in the sense that you can go two ways with them, and either a bridge or really long term, and Gauthier and Leo Carlson. So maybe those guys get taken care of first, and then would you say that's the priority, and then you figure out how much money you got left for a Trouba?
Yeah, I think so. And I think even with the other young defensemen, I think Minchikov and Zellweger are probably prime for simple bridges and kind of keep that lower. I think they're going to lock down Carlson. I feel like that's kind of they have to. My sense is maybe Cutter Gauthier is maybe higher than a bridge, but a solid contract because he's obviously shown his worth. But it's kind of surprising when you look at just how much money they have left right now. And you have the guys coming off the books this year. You have guys coming off the books in 2 years, your Killorns and Stromes and things like that. Yeah. There's room to play with for this team, whether it's this year or next summer, to really bolster this thing into a true contender.
Right. Good stuff, Zach. Really appreciate it. Enjoy tonight's contest. Should be a good one. And I'm sure we'll talk soon. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks, Kevin.
That's Zach Kavanaugh. Sports Tribune covers the Ducks. And our game of the day brought to you by St. Albert Dodge, where the all-new 2026 Jeep Gladiator sport packages have arrived. Check them out at stalbertdodge.com. When we come back, we're going to give away a table for 6 for the Super Bowl party at first round. You could win up to $3,000 in cash and prizes. No, I don't think it's cash, but just prizes. It's like the Wheel of Fortune, thousands of cash and prizes. That's up right after the break. Kevin Karius, Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick, and Mac the Intern on Sports 1440 AM radio. We are streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
The new double cheesy melt at McDonald's. We're talking 2 juicy, mouth-watering 100% Canadian beef patties, 2 slices of cheesy goodness, with even more melty, cheesy sauce on top. Topped with pickles, then crispy and grilled onions. The way it all comes together, you don't just eat it, you melt into it. The double cheesy melt, only at McDonald's. For a limited time only at participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
Made for some rough roads, but it means trails are now packed and ready for action. Don't miss out on riding adventures this winter with a Ski-Doo from Riverside Honda and Ski-Doo. Work or play with new 2026 Generation 5 models with class-leading design and power. And right now, take advantage of 5.99% financing OAC. Only at Riverside Honda and Ski-Doo. 15 Inglewood Drive in St. Albert. And always at riversidehonda.com. Shop local, shop Canadian.
This hockey season, before every game, check out the pregame show with Andrew Walker on Sports 1440. It's brought to you by Titan Supply, your only source for rigging, lifting, and hauling products. Visit titansupply.ca.
For almost half a century, families, farmers, and mechanics across Alberta have trusted Ed's Auto Salvage in Westlock. Why? Because we know cars and we know value. Hi, Lisa here. And whether it's keeping your work truck hauling or getting your teenager's first car back on the road, Ed's has the parts you need at prices you can afford. Reliable, affordable, local. That's Ed's Auto Salvage. With province-wide shipping and daily delivery to Edmonton, visit us at edsautosalvage.com.
Invest for today and tomorrow. Vision Credit Union makes it simple with 2 RRSP options to fit your goals. Choose a secure term deposit RRSP with guaranteed returns or a mutual fund RRSP offering higher growth potential with exciting opportunities. With an RRSP, you'll save on your income tax, grow your investments tax-free, and get closer to your dreams, whether it's retirement or your first home. The deadline to qualify for 2025 tax deductions is March 2nd. Learn more at visioncu.ca.
You're listening to Sports 1440 and watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Sports 24/7. We are Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program, 1040 in Edmonton, home stretch of the Kevin Karius Show. We've got a trivia question for our good buddies at First Round, Mark Liebers, Mo Bleways. They've putting together a little package here, giving away 6 tables for 6 people. We did one already. We'll do a couple more as the week progresses, and then even next week, I'm sure the Duke will do 1 or 2, even on Fantasy Frenzy as well. So it's for the First Round Super Bowl party. You could, the value of this is like $3,000. It's $20 to get in, so that's all taken care of. You get the table of 6, so that's $120 there. You get a bottle of Bud or Bud Light, kettle chips, premium seats, and you are entered into the Super Bowl grand prize to win a home theater system, TV speaker, the whole bit. You got swag going on. You could enter to win an NFL jersey, etc. A table for 6. And the question, courtesy young Josh Fenwick, who's come up with this during the commercial break. Really hard to believe that it took you this long, but the question is for today's trivia,
Yeah, last night, what was the OKC I'm just kidding. I was joking with Brandon and them about that. So the Patriots obviously have made the Super Bowl. They averaged 18 points per game this postseason.
Okay.
That is the fewest by any team since who in the Super Bowl era?
That are going to the Super Bowl.
That are going to the Super Bowl.
18 points a game for the Pats.
So who had a lower points per game in the Super Bowl era and made the Super Bowl?
So in the last 60 years.
Yep. Good news.
833-401.
32 teams to choose.
1440. So we're talking about inept offenses.
Correct, but elite defenses possibly.
Oh, possibly. Triple C in a truck comes in with the Baltimore Colts. Quite a few. Is this the correct answer that's
It is
coming?
not.
It is not.
Answer.
It is not the Baltimore Ravens?
It is not.
Yeah. A lot of guys sent the Ravens right off the hop. That's an interesting question. Did you come up with this yourself?
I did not.
Yeah. Okay. Who did you steal it from? Who did you steal it from?
Twitter. NFL researcher. Verified. 15,000 followers, I believe.
Okay. Perfect. Now, as we get the correct answers, we had the oil rumble yesterday. Spencer Love sent me a couple of videos from the match, and I sent them to you, or you figured out how to do it. Now, these are going to be for public consumption from what happened in the ring with my buddy Thaddeus Archer.
Correct.
And where are they on right now?
Well, I'll post it after, but we could run it on the stream right now. All 1 minute and 30 seconds of it.
Oh, really?
Oh,
You
yeah.
can put it on the stream?
Yeah. I
Well-
can take over the full thing.
Well, put it on. Put it
All right.
on for sure.
Coming up.
So there was about a minute and a half that Spencer sent in. The match was like 10 minutes long. So I feel like just ecstatic that
and you
they
could-
allowed like a minute of I don't know, debauchery.
Yeah. Anyways, here it is.
It's on the stream right now. Just Thaddeus Archer. He seemed like he broke his glasses. He took his real good glasses. And his spurs. His glasses were broken. And he took his
You kicked him in the groin, Evan?
Yeah, I picked him. Well, that's part of our. We had a move that was ready to go at the end. We were running out of time. That's the only bad thing that could have happened. Those twins, they were a lot of fun. And here, you know what the thing is, when you're going over what's going to happen, the amount of details that they would. I said, man, you're confusing me. I said,
just let me go out there and do my business.
Well, no, they start talking about all the moves, and this and that. Okay, then you know what this is called and that's called. I was like, no, I don't. But it was lots of fun anyway. So thanks to Spencer and thanks to the Rad Man for getting everybody out there. Lots of texts coming in. There's quite a few. Are there any correct ones here, Josh?
Yeah. Bad Niv, Slurpy Sean, both get it right.
Wow. We'll let this go for about another 5 minutes anyway. Look at that. Even like a lot of people thought it was Denver. The Giants back in 86. Wonder where the Miami Dolphins rank in this too, because if you go back to their, when they won and ran the table.
Their perfect season.
I wonder where they would rank in that, because that was a low-scoring game, I thought. But it's not the Baltimore Ravens. Man, I'm glad that you came up with this all by yourself.
Yep. That was all me.
Very impressive.
All me. All up in the old Josh Meister's noggin.
Jason Gregor reporting that both Szymanski and Kapanen are in tonight. So it'll be Mangiapane out. Howard's sent down, obviously. That tells me, again, that Kapanen, he goes back to where he was with Draisaitl and put Coles in. And a third line, there's nothing wrong with a third line of Roslovic, Szymanski, and Savoy. It gives Szymanski, he's got a little bit of familiarity. Not really, I guess, with Savoy because they didn't play together, but he's got maybe a little youth on his side there. And Roslovic can maybe settle things down. And Roslovic would move to the right wing with Szymanski in the middle. I want to see how Szymanski does in the draws and face-off assignments, things like that. So, should we announce a winner here, you guys, or what? It's not the Bucks. Northside Lou, it is not the Bucks. Husk says the Jets. No. Joe Bergman. The Eagles. No. Vikings. No. Bears. No from Shrek. Denver Broncos. No. Dallas says Washington. No. And no Baltimore Ravens. It's a tough question. This is not an easy one.
It's a deep dive question.
Yeah. Would you have got it right, Duke?
No.
What would you have said? Ravens?
That would have been my first guess, I think. And then I probably would have went to the 15 Broncos, right? The year they won. When it was like all the defense, Peyton Manning couldn't even turn his head.
Fair. Yeah, and we're going back a ways here, right?
Yeah.
Brendan says, I didn't hear the question, but let's say the Bengals. Well, you had a 1 in 32 chance to win. So you guys will have to put, I think we have 4 correct answers?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just punching the correct answers into the wheel right
Wheel
now.
of Fortune.
And the winner is Slurpy Sean.
Slurpy Sean. Sloppy Sean. And the correct answer is the 1979 LA Rams. Man, 1979 LA Rams. MTR didn't guess, did he? Back in 1979, I was going to say the quarterback of the team ended up playing in the CFL. Did you know that? I'm pretty sure he did anyway. Vince Ferragamo. The 1979 Rams, their record was 9-7. They won the divisional playoffs at Dallas, 21-19. Beat the Buccaneers. Imagine this NFC championship. It was 9-0 in Tampa. And then lost the Super Bowl to the Steelers. Wow. There you go. All right, Slurpy Sean, you're the man. You get her. So close, Bad Nev says. So close. MTR. You know what? He comes at me for calling Stidham a rookie quarterback. MTR says, wake up, Karius. Stidham isn't a rookie quarterback. Well, Ben, such an extensive background. The wealth of veteran leadership games is unbelievable, MTR. This guy, unbelievable. He played many, many games, MTR. Just a crusty old veteran. Is he a rookie or not? Answer the question. Oh, stop it, MTR. You know, you got to take some things with a grain of salt. You know what? Like, would he win Rookie of the Year? I don't know. Come on, MTR. You're better than that, MTR. Plus, pick up your booze already. It's all sitting here.
Yeah,
Come
otherwise
pick it up.
Josh is going to drink it now that he's back on the wagon.
Same with Rowdy Roddy. Your bottle's here too. And if you guys don't pick it up within, we should
Before you get back from vacation?
Yeah. I think we should drink it, all three of us. What do you think?
Mackenzie, you get none.
Mackenzie, oh, sorry. Well, I didn't know. Are you on the wagon or are you off the wagon, Mackenzie? Or have you never been off or on the wagon?
She's all over the wagon. She's a wagoneer. Boomer sooner.
MTR says, I'll pick it up this weekend or next. Get off my back. No, it's too bad. And then he says, you can't be mailing it in this quickly. You got a few days before the big vacation. I'm not mailing anything in here, Duke.
Nope. Top of your game as
Not
always.
at all, man.
Another great show in our books today.
Yeah. Yeah. Team Dean says MTR is the guy in the group that says he's never wrong, even when he's completely wrong.
I know those types.
Yeah.
I've got one in my friend group. Shout out Bryce.
Yeah.
I know he's not listening this week because he got a new job, so he can't just lounge around and do nothing all the time after he hurt his poor little knees playing hockey.
Should mention it's Wayne Gretzky's birthday today. Huh?
Yeah, the big 6'5" for Wayno.
65. I wonder if he took his CPP early at 60. Do you think would he wait to 65?
Well, he certainly earned it.
Yeah. I think he's probably maxed out, no?
Yeah.
Wonder if he takes it at 65. He's gotta. He has to. No sense waiting around. You might need that $1,000 or whatever it is. Coming up at the top of the hour, it is Fantasy Frenzy with
the former Rochep T-Bird,
Connor Helly and the Duke of Delburne. And congrats once again to Slurpee Sean to winning the table for 6 at first round. And you get everything else, and you could win, holy smokes, up to $3,000 for the home theater system. So we'll get your contact to Mark and Scotty over at first round and get that taken care of as well. 12 o'clock till 2, it's the Lowdown with Alan Mitchell. 2 till what would it be 5:30, the Jason Greger Show. We got Andrew Walker, and we've got Donnie P, and we've got Landon Ferraro with the pregame show, 5:30 puck drop. Just after 6:30, it'll be on Prime. Maybe it's pushed back. It could be like 6:45. You never know with these donkeys. And then the post-game show to follow. We'll be back with you tomorrow morning at 7 bells. We'll bust down tonight's Ducks and Oilers game. But before all that, time now for a Sports 1440 update brought to you by AWS Welding Supplies in Nisku. Product sales, servicing, calibrating, free same-day delivery of in-stock items to Leduc, Nisku, and South Edmonton. Your one-stop shop for all things welding. That's awswelding.ca. Hey, thanks everyone for listening this morning. Thanks for all the great texts. Thanks for the interaction. We could not do things here at Sports 1440 without you. Hope you have a magnificent rest of your Monday. We'll see you back here tomorrow at 7. Until then, here is the Duke.
The Sports 1440 update.
Game day for the Edmonton Oilers as they welcome in the red-hot Anaheim Ducks. Anaheim coming in winners of 7 straight. Puck drop scheduled for just after 6:30 tonight from Rogers Place. Tristan Jarry expected to start in goal, and Kasperi Kapanen and the recently recalled Josh Szymanski both drawing into the Oilers lineup. 3 of the games around the NHL. Mammoth in Tampa Bay. The Bruins take on the Rangers from Madison Square Garden, and the Islanders play the Philadelphia Flyers. Tonight's Kings and Columbus game postponed due to extreme weather conditions in the eastern United States. In the association tonight, 8 games total, including Indiana in Atlanta, Cleveland hosting Orlando, Portland takes on Boston from the Garden, Chicago up against the Lakers, and Golden State in Minnesota for the nightcap. Scotty's Tournament of Hearts continuing this morning's draw. Canada and Carrie Anderson defeating Quebec 8-2. Yukon losing to BC 11-4. Saskatchewan getting past Northwest Territories 6-5, and Nova Scotia falling to Caitlin Laws in a Manitoba rink 8-2. Coming up in the 2 o'clock draw, Alberta's Kayla Skrillik will be in action against Nunavut. Nova Scotia, Christina's Black playing Newfoundland, New Brunswick taking on PEI, and Manitoba up against Northern Ontario. Coming up on Sports 1440, it is Fantasy Frenzy with Hallie and Douglas. I'm Brendan Douglas at your Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free